Hello, hello, hello. What is good, everyone? Appreciate you all for being here on this fine Sunday. Let me just switch real quick, and boom. We're here. One Piece, chapter 1155. I think a lot of us are, well, I'm pretty late to the game. Obviously, I did not read the chapter yet, and it's pretty late for me. It's 7:30 at night. I was planning on being here around like 1 o'clock, but a lot of delays. But regardless, we're here. I am insanely excited for this chapter. I feel as though, honestly, there is a lot that can happen. Obviously, Rocks. Rocks is Blackbeard's dad. That's huge. That is a major reveal. And because Oda revealed something so massive, I cannot fathom for the life of me us not following Rocks at this point. We don't only get the reveal of who he is, some of the things he's done, and also some of the offspring he's birthed. But he's not alone. We got Whitebeard, Shiki, and Stussy as well. Well, Buckingham. This is crazy. This is really crazy stuff here, and I really think we're going to get a whole chapter just focused on Rocks, who he is, more about him, because Oda's been making us so invested in this man for years and years that I just it's got to be more about him. You know what I mean? It's got to be more about him. Obviously, let me know if the audio's all good. I will probably be pretty loud this chapter. Just I can tell this could be a really good chapter. Like my anticipation is through the roof, to be fully honest with you. I've had people who have messaged me, have you read it yet? Which means, like, what's going to happen? I have not, obviously. And I'm very spoiler free. I only know the title of the chapter because I clicked it and it was the first page. So that's it is what it is thing. Setting up for the stream. But regardless, we're ready. I don't really have any necessary expectations for what's to be revealed in this chapter. We might see his bounty, but if he has a bounty, right, which he obviously does, it's going to be less than Roger's, because Roger has the penultimate 5.5, and Luffy will be the 5.6. I think Rocks has got to have like a 5 billion bounty, but this is still very early in his career. Like, he's not even the leader of the Rocks Pirates. He's just Rocks. So him having a low bounty, like, it's going to be a few billion for sure. He killed an admiral. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. But I think we're going to see a bounty of his. And this early in the game, if it's so ridiculously high, that would be cool. That'd be cool. But I don't want to ramble too long. Obviously, a lot of people have already read this chapter, and I am fiending for this chapter. I'm insanely excited, and I say with that, let's get right into chapter 1155, which is called The Rocks Pirates, from what I've heard. Let's see if that's actually correct. Of course, if you do want to support the channel in any way, all the chatting and stuff, we have very long discussions after the chapters, as well as supporting through like members and stuff like that, sharing the stream, all that. It's greatly appreciated. And if you're watching currently or in the VOD, you know, like the stream, it helps a lot, pushing it to the algorithm. And it seems a friend told me that there's a break after this chapter, and if that's the case, wow, there's a lot to talk about. I can just imagine. So let's get right into this. Chapter 1155, and we have a color spread here. Okay. Okay, this is cute. We got Luffy and Usopp, the goats. The goats of One Piece. It's like they're in a very high... Oh, look, there's a Gear 5 poster for the Wanted poster in the background. That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, they're like super high up in this very like Disney-like setting almost. Very very European inspired for sure. Very European inspired. We got Jinbei and Nami together. Look at that. That's growth right there. That's growth. Zoro and Sanji. I like how Sanji's trying to help Nami cross the bridge. Not the bridge, the ladder between the two roofs. Brooke is chilling. Big chilling. And we got Frankie and Robin together, of course, with their son Chopper. I love that. I love that. Very cute color spread. There's no title to it, no words, you know. Usually there's like an English phrase on these color spreads. But it's cute, you know, very colorful, very nice. We got a bunch of penguins flying around. That's fun, like the penguins. The aviator goggles penguins. All right, but let's lock in. It's called The Rocks Pirates. Okay, chapter 1155, The Rocks Pirates. Okay. We're doing single page like we talked about last time. We're going to do single pages because I know my eyes are just going to dart through or something, and I do not want to mess it up. So I say we lock in. Let's go. All right. So at the end of the last chapter, Rox asked Loki, is King Harold here? And is this Elbaf? Right? And we're directly continuing that with Loki answering his question. Yeah, this is Elbaf, but my dad ain't here. He's on an expedition. Are you puny humans? I've never seen your kind before. You really do scurry around. Ha ha ha. Aw, you're adorable. That's probably, oh, I see. That is Stussy. Because you see the little laugh sound effects around her. Shiki and Whitebeard in the back looking very cold. Very cold. Wait, did you say dad? Are you Harold's kid? Even on an expedition, you could still get in touch with him. What's your name? Loki. Okay, Loki. You're gonna do as I say. Go back home right now and get someone to contact your old man. Here's the message you tell them to pass on. Loki is gravely wounded. Return to Elbaf at once. Huh? Says, when do I have to listen to what you humans have to say? What is Rox about to do to this kid? And then Loki admired him. What is Rox about to do to this kid? Yo, appreciate everyone for stopping by. We have a pretty busy stream, and I'm only on the first page. I see my Metro's in the chat too. Big Metro. Okay. Okay. Plus, it's not like Dad would come back home just because I got hurt. Stop ordering me around, you little weakling. Whoa. He's got a sword just like Roger's. Rox's sword attacks were famous for blasting everything in sight, like a gigantic hammer or cannonball. So he slashes at Loki, and it's this boom, like a massive, like a blunt force attack instead of a slash. Very interesting. And Loki's wincing in pain. Vo-ha-ha-ha. All right, new laugh dropped. Vo-ha-ha-ha. There, what did I just say? Loki's gone and gotten wounded. This madman had crossed Harold's path. Oh, the gravely wounded. Oh! Now he's going to be gravely wounded. Okay, that's cool. That's sick. That is actually twisted. Like, let's beat up this child so I get in contact with him. Alright. This madman had crossed Harold's path. At the Reverie one year. 5 kings have been attacked and captured. It's an abduction. They were taken by a large man dressed in black. That's Rox. Is that Rox? That's got to be Rox. The lives of kings are no threat to me. Are we gonna fucking... I suppose not. But your Holy Land is in panic. In a historical anomaly, never repeated before or since, Someone infiltrated the Chamber of Flowers at the very core of the Holy Land. Bro, what the is going on? Okay, this is Gunko, right? For a millisecond, I thought this was an emu face reveal. For a millisecond. But I'm like, no, no way. No way. We just saw rocks, right? No way. We're getting emu and rocks together. This is crazy, though. So rocks knows emu. And that would explain why emu is so against Blackbeard. Because emu has to know, and the Gorsei have to know that rocks... And I guess Blackbeard's crew now. They know that Blackbeard is Rox's kid. This is crazy, though. I suppose not, but your Holy Land is in panic. So Rox saves these kings. Then who's this man dressed in black? Unless he's the large man dressed in black. Because he's definitely wearing black. Okay, this is Gunko. In this very gorgeous, like, petal-like, outfit. The man... What?! We're standing. Chat, we're standing. We're standing, chat. Okay. Okay. The man described himself as a worshiper of Davy Jones. We finally got the Davy Jones drop. Also, my mic is so loud. I'm so sorry. I'm going to lower it a bit. Okay, this should be better. This should be better. Okay. The man described himself as a worshiper of Davy Jones. He did not do anything more than this, as he knew he could not. But before he departed, he left a warning. I will be back right here. Naturally, word of this incident never saw the light of day. But as it happened, one other man infiltrated the Holy Land at the same time. That's Harold. Harold infiltrated at the same time. Then who is this man dressed in black? If the man dressed in black isn't Rox, then who... maybe I'm misinterpreting, but regardless, Davy Jones. Davy Jones. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is the guy. This is the guy we've been waiting for. The Davy back fight. This is it. This is everything. What if this has to do with Rox? You know? That would make a ton of sense. That would make it so much sense. And that would further connect the Rox. Oh my god. Okay. I will be back right here. That's really enforcing the Rox Blackbeard stuff too. Also, the silhouette of Emu is different. It's not just like a curve. There's like, this could be hair. This could be a headdress like just like Gunko was wearing. This right here on the outset, there's like a shade of light. A slight little shade of light here. Holy shit. Okay. But as it happened, one other man infiltrated the Holy Land at the same time. This is Harold. Look at him. He's far bigger than a giant. I desire him for a slave. No, he should be killed and stuffed for display. Guards, protect your lieges. Whoa, that panel's fire. Holy shit. This panel's tough. So Harold is burning alive. Hot, 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 hot. Fine, fine. The talks are off. I apologize for trespassing, but is this really necessary? Don't let the king abductor get away. Oh, so Harold kidnapped the kings. Oh, no, it wasn't me. Another large man dressed in black. That's not Harold, and it's not Rox. The admiral's been defeated. His attacker went to the palace. Be wary. Oh, this is like classic anime stuff where they cross paths by running. Classic. The admiral's been defeated. His attacker went to the palace. Be wary. What is all of this hubbub about? Bring me the big one. He must be the one who kidnapped the kings. I'm not gonna be the fall guy. I'll seize him and... A giant in the Holy Land? Is this guy lost or something? Dude, we're gonna have like a crazy clash next page. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Double page. This is a double page. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so cold. This is so cold. We're sitting back a bit. We're sitting back a bit. I'm not sitting, but I'm ready. I'm leaning. I'm anticipating. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. This panel is majestic. This is beautiful right here. The shading, the scale, the inky hockey. The inky hockey looks a lot like Emu's inky hockey as well. Very strong. Very, very strong. This clash between strangers eradicated any sign of others for 5 kilometers around. That's insane. Bro, you could run a 5K and be washed. Washed. Vohahaha. Name yourself. Barahaha. I am Harold. I'm Rox. Aim at the town with the next blow. If they capture us, they'll turn you into a slave. What? Why? Don't think, just do it. Sick. Sick. Which way is Elbaf? The new world's that way. Vahaha. If you survive, let's meet again, Harold. Never. I don't consort with villains. He jumped off the red line. He jumped off the red line. Holy shit. The Navy Admiral that Rox had just struck down. Oh, Admiral. Perished of his wounds, despite emergency measures. After as many crimes of the day. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys. I'm not crazy, guys. I'm not crazy. There's only one man. One man in One Piece that has a bounty poster similar to this. There's only one man. And that's my guy, Buggy. He literally has the same hand, the same tongue out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay. After as many crimes of the day, meaning the day, like just the Reverie, Rox's name was launched into infamy, and his deeds stunned the rest of the world. Sometime later, he attacked a ship laden with heavenly tributes en route to sacred Marie-Joie. Not only that, he destroyed the Gate of Justice and fled once again. With this ship and money as an initial base to work from, Rox dove into the pirating business. Whoa. He destroyed the Gates of Justice. That's so interesting. That is so interesting. His activities were always hostile towards the world government, but his first target was actually another pirate ship. In the pirating world, there had long existed a famous and merciless gang. There is no way It's true. The Rock's Davy Back stuff is true. In the pirating world, there had long existed a famous and merciless game played between crews. The Davy Back fight consisted of various competitions in which pirates gambled the fate of crewmates and flags. Wow. Wow. Rox made good use of this game to assemble a very solid lineup for himself. At this point, his motley crew of miscreants flew no flag. And that was when they arrived at Elbaf. So he went to Elbaf to find someone. Harold? Harold? It's got to be Harold. They've got someone amazing. You guys are going to be shocked. There's someone else there. There's another person they're hiding from us. It's Whitebeard, Shiki, Stussy, Rox, and someone else is there. They're hiding someone behind this convenient speech bubble. It's a black silhouette right there. And that was when they arrived at Elbaf. That's it. Oh, he looks so cold. Oh, this is a double page spread. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're getting a crazy double page spread. We're getting the Rox crew. Okay. Because I see Rox on the bottom here. Should I wait to look at the double page spread and just read the top and then go? We're at Orist Castle. I hurried back as soon as I could. But you're already nearly healed up. What a relief. I know you're a very strong boy, Loki. But you should stay away from the underworld. Oh, that's so messed up. Because we know what happened. Stay away from the underworld. You're lucky you only fell from a cliff this time. There are plenty of other dangers that could befall you there. I can't believe Dad actually came back. That was just a coincidence, right? He wouldn't come back to see me. Rox, I've heard all about your exploits. What are you doing here? I've been dying to see you, pal. Oh my god, we're getting the whole crew revealed. This is crazy. This is crazy. You should join me, Harold. The world government's not going to hear you out anyway. Didn't you hear that lesson last time? Nonsense. The day I team up with a band of infamous rogues like you is the day our allies lose all faith in us. Gee ha ha ha, appreciate the feast. That's Wang Ji. This is wild. Where's Captain John? I need to see him. Where's Captain John, man? This guy in the suit is... who is he? Alright. What, so you'd rather be ground beneath the world government's heel? I'm looking for a way to avoid that. We ought to be equals, every one of us. So that's the king of Elbaf. He's huge. Now you're talking nonsense, Harold. Elbaf is a nation of almighty warriors. Anything you don't like, you could just smash to bits. Who is this guy? Who is this guy on the end? There's no way that's Captain John. Is it? He's too big. That's Wang Ji right there. That's got to be Wang Ji. In the armor, he was on Thriller Bark. This dude with the chin and this guy, I have no idea who they are. Wow, crazy double page spread. Crazy double page spread. Oh, we're getting info. Okay, so I see little things. Okay. That's ancient history. Elbaf is changing. People's nature doesn't ever change. Oh, that's so similar to Blackbeard. But people's dreams don't ever die. People's natures don't ever change. That's crazy. I know that fighting blood in your veins is bubbling over. Can't we at least eat in peace? And that's Whitebeard just being like, bro, I don't care right now. If you people follow this man, only disaster awaits you. Follow this fool? Gee ha ha ha. Don't make me laugh. We're all individuals. If Rox dies, it won't affect the rest of us in the least. That's true, but his plan is very appealing to me. We're set to make a killing. You know about Full Lead, that island of exiles? They call it Pirate Island. They ship out all the hardened criminals there that countries can't handle in their own prisons. Oh, that's so interesting. So, Pirate Island was like Impel Down. Before Impel Down. That's crazy. Okay, so Mobster, Sheiky, Future Golden Lion, Science Robber, Miss Buckingham Stussy, Gangster of the West Blue, Don Marlin? Yo, who are you, bro? Okay, alright, let's continue. Okay. It was supposed to be a deserted island without food, where the damned simply wanted to die. Wait, Whitebeard looks so chill right now. Whitebeard looks sick. Pirate Edward Newgate, future Whitebeard. But in recent years, they've survived and built up a settlement there. How do you think that happened? That's Wang Ji. Pirate Guru Wang Ji. Okay, then who's the other guy? Future Commodore. Blackbeard's the Commodore. That's what his crew calls him, Commodore Blackbeard. That's crazy. Okay. It turns out there's a gold lode under that island. Lode, like Lodestar? Lodestar? There's a gold lode under that island. When the criminal underworld found out, they rushed to help mine it, and the prisoners made themselves a fortune. The government's seeing red. Pirate smuggler Gonzwi? Gonzwi? Who's Gonzwi? That island's crawling with vicious brigands. Get anywhere near it and they'll rob you blind. So we made a deal with the government. I says to them, if we get that island back, how much will you give us? If they're willing to pay us, sure, we'll go raid Pirate Island and split the treasure between us. But we ain't giving the government the island or the prisoners. I'm gonna rule over Full of Lead, and I'll get the idiots who live there to help me build a pirate's paradise. Can't you just see the dumbfounded look on the government and Navy's faces? This dude is crazy. Okay. This is just the prologue to my life. With that island as my base, I'll wipe out the Navy and bring the Holy Land to its knees. And in the end, I'll be king of the world. And Loki's hearing this. Loki's getting inspired by this. Loki's hearing this. You're making an enemy out of the entire world. It's too much to handle. Go ahead and doubt me. Sooner or later, someone's going to do it. There's no authority that in the world that lasts forever. Let's go, Harold. If we team up, we're unstoppable. Oh my God. We're unstoppable. Save your breath. I'm a king. You think I care? Let's go and take over the world. And Loki's crying. Loki's crying. He's so happy. The world. And that's what they said about Blackbeard. The world. And the next thing Loki knew, his outlook on life had been saved. 4 years later, after Harold ignored repeated invitations, Rox finally carried out his plan. Oh, sorry. Oh no. Rox finally carried out his plan. The formidable lineup that joined him caused the world to quake with terror. Quake with terror! Bro! Are you kidding me? That is crazy! To quake with terror. That now I even think like the Blackbeard... Did Whitebeard take Rox's fruit after he died to make sure no one else could have this power? And think about it. Earth fruit, because it's quaking, earth, that's an element. That could easily have been the Admiral's fruit. Oh, man. This is crazy. Wow. Wow. Okay. We're sitting back down now. I'm sweating to death. Wow. All right, that was a lot, guys. That was a lot. Wow. That was a very heavy chapter. Wow. All right, so wow, I'm actually sweating like crazy. Oh my god, it's too peak. It's too peak, man. All right. That was great. Yeah, no, Gansui, the name, I don't think I've ever heard. But that was definitely... Oh, is Gansui Silver Axe? Is Silver Axe Gansui? Because then then I obviously know who he is. Because Gan is like metal in some languages. Gan, that's metal. Wow, that was an amazing chapter. That was an amazing chapter. I don't want to be that guy, but Wang Ji immediately looks like Caribou and Korobu. Immediately. That's probably their dad. And that makes it even crazier that Caribou and Korobu, well, Caribou especially, loves Blackbeard, right? Am I crazy for that? Saying that Caribou and Korobu look a lot like Wang Ji? The tongue, the hair thing, the little thing of hair. Like, that's crazy. I'm looking this up right now. Caribou. I'm looking this up now. Because this is too much for me. Hold on. Caribou. Because Caribou loves Blackbeard. There has to be a coincidence there. Caribou, One Piece. Dude, he looks so much like... Well, his brother looks... Korobu looks way more like him. Korobu... Yeah, no. That's got to be Caribou and Korobu's dad. It has to be. It has to be. Dude, that is crazy, bro. That is actually crazy. The Blood Spatterer Korobu. What is Caribou's nickname? Wet-haired. Okay, wet-haired Caribou. There's something about it. Pointy ears. He does have pointy ears. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy, actually. Caribou. Dude, this has to be Caribou and Korobu's dad. It has to be. That is nuts. That is crazy. Oh my god. Like... I'm just... Guys, this is a lot here. There's a lot here. There's a lot here. Alright. Don Marlin. Don Marlin. Don Marlin. We obviously... Gansui has to be Silver Axe, right? Gansui is Silver Axe. Right? No? Gansui has to be Silver Axe, right? Well, now, I mean, we know who he's the guy from Thriller Bark. We knew it was him. But is Silver Axe and Gansui the same name? If not, then I don't know who Silver Axe is still. But we've definitely seen this guy before in Thriller Bark. He was the one with the helmet because he's got the same, like, nose. That is so crazy, bro. That is so crazy. Alright, let's see. Silver Axe One Piece. Silver Axe. Silver Axe is not Gansui? Wow. Okay, so we don't have Captain John yet. We don't have Silver Axe. We don't have Gloriosa. We don't have Kaido or Big Mom. Bro, he just kept getting these heavy hitters. Okay, so Ochaku is Wang Ji. Okay, that clears up that. I remember that being a name as well. Who is Silveraxe? Oh, Silveraxe is this guy, people are saying. This other zombie that was in between Gonzui and Captain John. Okay. Okay. So we don't know him yet. We don't know him yet. Okay. Wow. Dude, Caribou and Corbu's dad being Wang Ji, and that explains why they like Blackbeard, because he reminds them of rocks. And Wang Ji was alive. Wang Ji was alive at the time. Like, we know Blackbeard and Kobe fought Wang Ji. What was Caribou and Corbu doing while Wang Ji was around there on Pirate Island? And it said future Commodore of Pirate Island. Blackbeard took over. They called him Commodore. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, so we need... So Big Mom and Kaido, they're still not here. Captain John, Silveraxe, Gloriosa. I think that's it. I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. No, we got Gil Bastar. We know he's now in the Rocks Pirates. We know that too. Estranged Sons. That's not impossible. I'm going to be so serious. Any one of these Rocks Pirates people, you know, they're like the pirates of One Piece. They're the bad guys. You know, obviously, Whitebeard, he's not a bad guy. But pretty much anyone else here, I could see doing the classic pirate sleeping around, whatever type stuff, right? Easily. The thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is that Caribou and Corbu are like, aren't they twin brothers? Or are they just brothers? I thought they were twin brothers. No, he's the big brother of Corbu. Okay, they're not twins. They're not twins. That's interesting, though. That's interesting. So, is Corbu has to be alive, right? He could be. I don't think we've seen him in forever. Caribou, we know is alive, obviously. Corbu, I don't remember, though. Wow. Corbu gets forsaken by his young brother. Oh, Corbu is arrested. Corbu's in jail. No. Corbu's not in jail. As Caribou was dragged away by Drake. Alright, so... Seems like G5 kidnapped them? This is so wild. This is so wild. Okay, I'm now on the Caribou Pirates wiki page. That is so funny. Caribou and Corbu. Their dad is Wang Ji. And he's on the Rocks Pirates. And that's... dude. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Right? Obviously, what Rocks is saying... We know it's bad. We know what he wants to do is terrible. But... He does, like... He has something about him. He has something about him. You get what I'm saying? Like... He's saying these things and he's doing these things and I'm like, bro, how are you doing this? How do you have the, not even the capability, but the pure confidence that you can do this kind of stuff? Like, he went to Emu's room and lived, and he kidnapped these 5 kings. Who are they? Who are these 5 kings? We don't know. But he kidnapped 5 kings and killed an admiral at the Reverie. Did he kidnap these 5 kings just so an admiral would be called so he could kill said admiral? We don't know. Like, this is wild. Wow. I'm I'm incredibly surprised. And that was before forming a crew. Bro, I think he got the bounty on the day of the reverie. I will be back. I will be back right here. What do you mean you'll be back? Like, he's obviously talking about Pirate Island being the king of the world. He'll be back in this spot. He'll be the king. It's a threat. This clash, dude. Bro, this is so crazy. First thing he does in the entire story is beating up a kid. That's the first thing he does in the entirety of the story. Or we see him doing stuff. We are supposed to know as readers, this is a villainous figure, right? But there's something about him. How is he able to see Emu and live? How is he able to kill an admiral and live? How is he able to do all this stuff? There has to be like fate. It has to be like a fate kind of thing. Just like how Blackbeard believes in fate. It has to be. Because this is crazy. Like, I can't even fathom this. I can't fathom this. So, obviously, this is a 10 out of 10 chapter. Obviously. I don't think any of us need to debate that. Alright, how about this? Everyone chat. Let's give our best moment / reveal of the chapter. Like, what you think impacted you the most. For me, this Davy Back thing is like, I can't believe, well, no, it's not I can't believe it. It's like, we've thought about it for so long. Like, the Davy Back fight coming back into the fold. Right? We've thought about it for so long. Right? But actually seeing it come back to the fold, that's crazy. That's really crazy to me, you know? The Davy Back fight consisted of various competitions in which pirates gambled the fate of crewmates and flags. Rox made good use of this game to assemble a very solid lineup for himself. Who is that silhouette? Who in the world could that be? We have Whitebeard, Shiki, Stussy, Rox, someone else. Who is this last person? Who could this be? Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Rox talking to Emu was wild. He was sitting down and was like, yeah, I'll be back. The flower room. I felt confident Rox saw Emu at some point, but I wasn't expecting a whole conversation plus and Admiral killed. Plus an Admiral killed. Davy Jones / Davy Back fight was what has me happy all week. Rox is just a mess. Rox is a mess. Dude, there's something about him. There's something about Rox that's like, there's something different. Like, when he said, what he says is so interesting. Because he's meant to be obviously very similar to Blackbeard. Obviously. But it's all like the little things. It's all little things. You know what I mean? Like him saying people's nature doesn't ever change. That's so interesting to me. That's very similar to Dreams Never Dying. You know what I mean? Very similar. But it sounds so negative in comparison. Like, so insanely negative. I might need to look into, like, another translation of that line in specific. Because that's so interesting. Bro, Wang Zhi looks so evil. He looks so evil. It's really interesting how you could tell some of the characters, like Whitebeard doesn't look evil, But like Wong should look so absurdly evil. Also, Shiki is giving a, you know, I know, I do think Rocks and Buggy, you know, whatever. Shiki is giving an insanely buggy face right now. This face he's having, follow this fool. That's very Buggy-esque. Very Buggy-esque. How did he destroy the Gate of Justice? Like, yeah. How did he destroy the Gate of Justice? Like, what do you mean? Imagine if a Davy backfight countered Reversey. That would be hilarious. That would be cool. That would be really cool. If the Davy backfight, for some reason, was able to cancel out this Reversey stuff and, like, just make it even. That'd be intriguing. I don't know how it would fully work, but I like the concept. Something like innate to pirates that cancels out Emu's effect. Also, Roxas' crew having potential connections to characters who you wouldn't think have much connections. Caribou and Capone especially. Oh, okay, so people are thinking Don Marlin is Capone. Okay. Okay, so West Blue. I think Capone was from the West Blue. Lafitte was also from the West Blue. Could be Lafitte. Could be Lafitte for sure. West Blue, yep. Capone could easily be connected to this guy. Easily. This is crazy. This is really crazy, man. The Davy back being what formed this crew? Yeah, that's insanely satisfying to me. That is insanely interesting to me. And he said he's a follower of Davy Jones. So Davy Jones was a person, right? We could confirm that. Very intriguing to me. What I'm kind of thinking, right, is Davy Jones. Because we know that the world was sank into the ocean. Was Davy Jones in the first world, and then Emu covered it up? We know that Blackbeard's a historian, and Rox probably was too. I don't think it's impossible to say Davy Jones could have been from the first world. Yo, what's good, Dak? I can't imagine how you react to this chapter, bro. I literally cannot imagine. This is crazy, man. This is some crazy stuff. All right, fix the camera. Do you think that line about people never change is why Harold ripped out his horns? Amazing point, Winston. That's an amazing point. Harold ripping out his horns. Maybe he wanted to showcase a sign of like, no, I have changed, and here's definitive physical evidence to showcase I have changed. That's cool. I really like that. What if Davy Backfight was a smaller version of Dominion Reversey? A Dominion Reversey was the faster version to change Kings of Kingdoms Wind of War. That's intriguing. I don't know if I like the smaller version concept, personally. Plot twist, Lafitte goes through a physical transformation like Dendro and is really Don Marlin. That'd be crazy. Capone upscaled. He either beats Don Marlin or is related to Beige upscale. I have no idea what you mean upscale. What is upscale? What is upscale? Robin said Davy Jones was a pirate cursed. Okay. Davy Jones. We're looking into Davy Jones. Okay, that's some fan fiction. It was the main recruit. Bro, if you look up the Davy Back wiki right now, I'm on the Davy Back Fight wiki page. The Davy Back Fight is a traditional pirate game held in homage to the mythical Davy Jones, meant to challenge and conscript members of opposing crews. This was the main recruiting method used by Foxy and Rox Dizabek. That is insane. That is insane. Who's that? That's Whitebeard, obviously. But there's another bounty poster here. Who is that? Check SBS for his look. What do you mean? His look? Yeah, what's good? John Sherrod on all socials. Been on Cloud 10 for 3 days. Bro, I can't even imagine. I literally can't even imagine. I don't think Dak blinks for a while. That's funny. What do you mean SBS? What is the SBS we're talking about? Also, I'm going to put the light on. It's really dark in here. It's really dark in here. Wow. Oh no. It's not as satisfying. It's not as satisfying, guys. I'm sorry. But the sunlight is going down, and I do not want things to be all gray and grim. You know what I mean? Leagues? What do I mean leagues? SBS 38? I have no idea what we're talking about. SBS 38, though? Let's look into it. What look? What look are we talking about? Davy Jones. Oh, I do know this pic of Davy Jones. I do. Yeah. No, I have seen this Davy Jones picture. But that's obviously a fictitious mythological imagination of him. But having like rocks, you know, this is not some rando. Having rocks be the one who is, you know, a follower of Davy Jones, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I can't undermine that enough so you can fully imagine. Okay. I am considering hopping in Discord and talking about this. I'm considering hopping on Discord. Because I am not at all tired, and I want to talk about this more, and I would like to talk with some of you people, some of you lovely dog pound whatevers, because I could talk about this for hours. I generally could, and I want to, but obviously submit questions, keep the chat going, because I am not at all close to stopping by any means. I am still Gonswe. Okay, Don Marlin. We're thinking Don Marlin's Capone's dad. Wang Ji, it's not even no. This is Caribou and Corbu's dad. This completely recontextualizes their entire presence in the story, because the reveal of him being Bartolomeo for Blackbeard is cool, right? That's fun and interesting. But the fact that now it's not just, oh, he likes Blackbeard. It's, oh, he doesn't just like Blackbeard. His father was on the crew with Blackbeard's father, and Blackbeard took over their father's island. Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, Dak, I saw this thing here. So for context, Dak just sent me a picture where it is Kid's, one of Kid's mechs that he made, from Wano. And it's like, it has a skull, it has a bunch of spiky stuff coming out of its head, and it's got a scar along its eyeball. Now, I have seen this. I find this intriguing, right? If it didn't have the scar, it obviously would have been completely out the window. Completely. But this is a very interesting thing. This is a very interesting thing here. Now, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just going to be for real. I'm very intrigued, but I genuinely have no idea what to begin thinking about this. Because do I think Kid is related to Rocks? Not really. Obviously, he's a somewhat villainous rival to Luffy, which is cool, you know? But I don't know how I feel about his connection to Rocks. It's like, I'm very intrigued, but I don't know what to make of it, if that makes sense. But overall, very cool. Very cool. Alright. I am going to hop in my server VC. If anyone wants to hop in, please let me know. I'm going to be in the dog pound. Now, if you do want to join the server, I'm going to put the Discord link for the server right now. Let me copy link. How do I copy link? I'm so good at so good at this. It should be this right here. Should be that. Yep. There we go. Should be able to join through that. And I will be in a chat. I will be letting people mess around. I'm going to put one here. Alright, I'm in a chat. Dak, let me know, and you can hop in the dog pound, which is on the bottom of the thing. Yeah, feel free to hop in. I will let you know if anyone does want to be in this chat. Like, obviously, you can join the chat, but for those who want to do, you know, the YouTube whatevers, those who support me through memberships are able to join some member-exclusive streams we do on the Discord. It's called the Dog Zone instead of the Dog Pound. Yo, is that Mr. Saka? Hold up. Let me make sure everyone can hear you. I can hear you, yes. I just lowered the music. I'm gonna chat. Yo, give it up for Dak right now. Let's give it up for Dak.
Everyone, what a chapter.
What a chapter.
What a chapter.
What a chapter. Dak, I agree.
Did you get spoiled at all, Kev?
My friend told me the title of the chapter, but that was the only thing that I got spoiled on. Because I told my friend, right? Obviously last week, so not this week, right? Last week, it was very a lot, you know. It was a lot. You can agree, you know. And I literally told him, bro, if you get spoiled on this, you're gonna be annoyed. You're gonna be annoyed, right? If you get spoiled. And so, I was basically telling him, like, bro, you gotta catch up, or you're gonna get spoiled. Like, it's not even a if, it's like a when, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But then when he caught up, he was reading the leaks on, you know, TCB. He was reading the leaks, and and he was like, oh, what's the most recent one that came out? 1055? And he's like, oh, it's, you know what I mean? That's how I found out the title. And I'm like, bro, that's the one that's not out yet, bro. I'm like, come on, man.
That's funny. I mean, well, it's not funny you got spoiled, but the context was funny. I guess, I mean, it's not the worst spoiler. You know, you could have probably presumed that was coming.
Oh,
so.
I definitely did. And I was very happy to hear it, to be honest. You know what I
mean? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Such a good chapter, though. This could very well be my favorite chapter of all time.
Bro.
I'll put it that high. I mean, I have... It hit all the marks, right? At least, well, like, for me personally, it hit all the marks. Because for everybody, lots of hype. We all wanted to see Rocks, You know, he's just a baller going in there with Emu, breaking the gates of justice. Like this, I mean, it's you can't say enough superlatives about this man. But then, for me personally, you sprinkle in the Davy Jones and the Davy back fight. I mean, this was just an experience. This is an out-of-body experience for me. So, this might be my favorite of all time.
It was an absolute banger. It was an absolute banger. I think for me, it's like, I don't all time. I definitely get it because you're the Davy back fight guy. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I've been waiting.
Awesome. And that was really cool. Like, obviously, like, you know, hearing about it and thinking about it is one thing. Because the idea is always interesting. You know, I think you and me, we've talked about this countless times. That's how we think either Buggy's fight with Luffy's going to be. Well, now we know this is how Blackbeard's fight is going to be. We know this is how Blackbeard's fight's going to be.
I don't know, because Blackbeard, you know, he hasn't really, like, utilized it yet. And I mean, the only thing he would ever want is like to get Robin, but I mean, I feel like he's already kind of figured out how to read him. Yeah, because he already has pudding. So like, he just takes the people. He doesn't do Davy back fights. He's just like, you know, I'll take whatever I need. So yeah. I don't know, but Buggy though, because Buggy's crew is very much Rock's coded.
Speaking of taking what I need. Speaking of that, I'll take what I can get because that poster. That bounty poster looking quite similar to a certain someone. And I'm taking that in stride because all I'm saying, the Buggy Bash 3, you know, it's going to be
it's time.
It's going to be
Is there a break next week?
It's
a break. It's a break this week, so you can do
Buggy
it this
Bash
week.
3 is next week.
Do it the Rock's D Buggy Bash.
Rock's D Buggy Bash, bro.
Please, seriously, call it that. If you're going to do it this week, that'd be hilarious.
I mean, there's no who's doing anything next week. That's all I'm hearing. It seems like we're all free. So
I mean, I'll be free, but I'm also working on a million videos at this point because, like, I almost have like a chapter review-esque video pretty much done. I actually have most of it in Premiere Pro right now.
There we go.
Got the kid video. I got another one about how Rox. I think Rox uncovered the true history, and that's how he even knew about Emu and like.
That was
like crazy. I think he knew everything because like if he can break into the flower room by himself, this man can go to Laugh Tale. This man can go to the moon. Like whatever.
I think.
That Mr. Blue.
Is Mr. Blue here? Hold up, is Mr. Blue?
I think Mr. Blue just joined.
Mr. Blue.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Blue, red PFP.
Yo.
Yo.
I do need to change it. Oh yeah. Don't let me stop y'all. I'm hearing what y'all talking about.
Well, let's hear from you now, bro. What'd you think? Were you hyped?
You gotta cook.
Nah, dude. This is one of those chapters where I was like, I wish I was reacting and I didn't see spoilers because, this is one of those ones where it's like people. This chapter was for the greatest soldiers of Long Ring Longland. The people who've been fighting for that arc for years.
The Diamond Handers. And like the thing about the Davy Bat stuff is like I felt like it was always going to come back in some context, like whether the Straw Hats do it or we hear about more or whatever. But it's like Oda brought it back in the best and biggest way he possibly could have, and I'm just like so giddy about it. Like it's not like Foxy came back and we found out he's doing more Davy back fights or something. Like no, we're like Rocks. He went super meta about it and was doing Davy back fights all over the place. Like bro.
Yo, he even shows him wearing the boxing glove in that tiny panel.
The boxing glove one was crazy. I couldn't believe seeing that. I have.
Did you?
I don't have it on the stream, obviously, but I'm looking on my one monitor here at some of the stuff. Like that 1-2 punch of the Buggy bounty poster and then the Davy back fight. That was like me and Dak hitting like the Terminator, not Terminator. The oh my god, is it Predator with Schwarzenegger and like son of and then they do the
Predator. Yeah, Predator.
Sorry if that peaked the mic, by the way. I can't imagine how loud that just was.
But it went the bounty poster and then we hear the Gates of Justice thing and then it's that. I'm like, okay, you just like Oda in 2 pages I mean, we were already pumped about Rocks. I mean, you had the Emu thing in the first 3 pages of the chapter and then you had that. I'm just it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Okay, I want to say this real quick. I think I texted you about this the other day, Dak. when you remember when I was saying how like it's something I've been telling one of my friends who got me onto One Piece. I've been telling him this for years. I'm like, I have no way to back this up. I just feel this strongly about it. And it was like I think it was like a Sabo situation where, or I used to think it was like a Sabo situation where Rock saw Emu like maybe like peeking his head like through a door, like looking through a door and seeing like the Emu talk to the Goro, say, "Dude, I was not expecting Rocks to be chilling in the flower room.
It's crazy.
The room is crazy.
Speaking directly to Emu.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe, like, we're actually getting glimpses as to what Emu looks like too, like slight little things. Like we all think like that's Gunko obviously in the room with Rocks.
Yeah,
right?
Most likely, but she does have long hair, and Gunko doesn't have long hair, and so that did give me a little bit of pause. But
okay. For me, it was like the eye thing though. Like that's not
right.
Yeah,
that's not Emu. Obviously, that's more so what I'm saying.
Right. It made me think. Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying if I had to put my money on it, like is it Gunko or is it not? I'm just gonna write for now. Believe it's Gunko.
Yeah, I'm 80% Gunko. That's what Sai said, and I agree with. I think 80% is how I feel, but there is a good chance I think that it might be someone else, because maybe we're learning that like all the people they bring in from outside the Celestial Dragons that become God's Knights, maybe they have to get like an eye replaced or something so Emu can control them, like keeping an eye on them, like literally.
Ooh,
so
that's fun.
I don't know.
That's fun. The reason I
probably Gunko though, like I said.
The reason I bring that up is because obviously there was like a millisecond, right? Because obviously it's not going to happen immediately. The Emu face revealed. That's like after this is like the one other besides Joy Boy. These are like the two people we need to know what they look like. I guess now Davy Jones. I guess now him.
Yeah,
he's a real person now, seemingly that exists. Not just like some legend.
So, well, okay. So I really want to talk about Davy Jones, but I've been meaning to say this for a couple minutes, so I just want to make sure I do before I forget. Kev, did you notice that in that panel with the Davy backfight stuff that it's showing him participating in each of the 3 rounds of the Davy backfight? And on the bottom right, that's the groggy ring where people put a ball on their head and you throw it through the hoop.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's decapitating someone. I'm pretty sure that's what it's depicting.
There's a bloody axe there. I'm like, it's got to be something unhinged. You know what I
mean? Yeah,
that's so crazy. That's so crazy.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's showing. What else would it be? Because the point of the game is to throw someone's head through a ring. And I mean, like, what that? If you're gonna be a super savage, you're gonna do what he's doing right there. And he also is blowing up the other ship. And I'm like, that is probably cheating. But who's gonna tell Rox he's cheating?
There's no rules, you know.
Yeah, there are, but there aren't. Like, they're supposed to be, but you know, the ref is definitely, he's like Tim Donaghy from the NBA. Yeah.
I was thinking of something though. I saw a message earlier. So Winston in the chat said, "How many children did Rox have? Over or under 5?" Now, obviously, we know he had 1, but this is Rox, right? I was talking with Mr. Blue not too long ago, and I literally said, this is going to sound unhinged. It was actually, no, it was my last stream. I was like, all right, now imagine how insane it would be if all of Blackbeard's crew are Rox's children. There's something absolutely ludicrous like that. Now, that obviously got deconfirmed really fast.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
But
no, it's ludicrous, but I love it. Because it's like, there could be so many Rox kids. There could be so many. You know, we might have two boys. You know what I'm saying? One clown and one one diabolical fella.
So he's like Genghis Khan, just having the next generation is just all his kids.
The worst generation is just Rox's children.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. You know, with like Beige and like Caribou, like, you know, these new potential parents of, you know, pirates that we're meeting. Like, a lot of them are like, you know, the Sabaody pirates or the Supernova and stuff. And I feel like we're gonna find out that every big pirate that we've met is gonna have, like, they're gonna have an important parent. Like Oda's doing the family piece too strongly.
I agree.
I can't believe though the Caribou stuff. Like, this makes him so much more intriguing to me. And I remember last week I was like, oh my god, this makes Whitebeard so much more interesting.
You know what's funny?
Oh, you can go.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you, Kev. I was just about to say, you know what's so funny is that, like, at this point, with all we've been through in the new world, we look at Caribou as a joke, but in his introduction, he technically was considered like a super rookie for like
he was on that level. I think he basically is one. Oda just like added him late. It's like I'll just have him in the Return to Sab Odi and make him important then, and then know.
See, I like what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree because I do really enjoy the parallel with him and Bartolomeo because that's intentional for sure in my opinion.
But is he serious now that we see the Wang Ji talk?
Yeah, now it's like does he like him because of Bartolomeo fanboy stuff, or does he like him because, like, think about it like this?
Is he plotting?
Well, it could be that too. It could be that. But I was also like, wait, Blackbeard took down your dad, presumably killing Wang Ji, right? We could just assume he's dead.
I would not assume that.
No body, no death.
And they would say it. They would say that he died if he did in that event.
I think it's on the table, but what you said, Dak. I think it's on the table, but I'm not fully convinced that Wang Ji is just dead.
Yeah, like 10% chance. Like, because like in One Piece, nobody ever dies. Like, I'm not gonna assume it. I need to see. Like, what did they say about the Admiral that was kind of funny? King Recon laughed at this too. What they say, it was like, despite all the efforts to save him, the Admiral did not survive.
Yeah.
It's like
CPR.
I know. And like part of me thinks, is this Oda like just like double confirming like this guy did die? Like they tried to save him, but it did not work. Like I'm just clarifying right now. Like he is dead. Stop. There's no more fake deaths.
Yeah, just to confirm, yes, he did kill an admiral. Like that's the levels we're on right now.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
What do you think about the 5 Kings thing? What is that about? Is he using that? I thought, okay, did he kidnap the kings to get an admiral on him so he could then kill the admiral? Or is that like unrelated, do you think?
I think he grabbed 5 kings because then it's like to tell Emu, make me king of the world or I'll kill 5 of the world leaders. And Emu's like, I don't care about them. Okay. I think that's kind of the idea.
Okay, I like that.
What I'm getting at is that, at least from like the little information we got right now, I'm thinking like he like, I assume he knew, at the very least knew about the Gorosei, probably not Emu. So I figured he was going to use the kings as a bargaining chip to get what he wanted and go to who he thought was like the head honchos that run everything and make demands. And then he obviously ended up biting off more than he can chew when he came across Emu, where Emu was just like, yeah, this is nothing to me. And I so here's my thing, Kev. I think that scar we see Rocks have, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen no prior point with him having the scar, but I think Emu was the one that gave him the scar on his eye. Okay. That's what I'm feeling right now.
You mean like the straight down one and the side? So it's like a 3-way kind of attack?
Yeah. It's the one on the panel when he says, I'll be back.
Yeah. Because he has the one like that's from like his forehead to his eye. But then when we got a different point of view, we saw there's one from like his temple to like the side of his eye as well.
Yeah, it's like 3-pointed. It's going 3 directions.
Yeah. I'm thinking he got that from Emu because I'm just wondering, like, all right, we see how crazy this guy is. Why would he stop if he felt he couldn't beat Emu? So I'm wondering if it's a situation where he tried to fight Emu and whatever Emu's abilities are, even Rocks knew in that moment, like, all right, I don't have a because so I'm gonna try and say this real quick. He saw how powerful Emu was and was like, okay, this is too much for me to handle. I'll be back, which is why he went and started amassing all of these powerful people, form this crew to come back with them. Because and I think this speaks a lot to how powerful Emu could potentially be, because it's like, look at all this stuff Rocks gathered just to come back for this guy and like, be king of the world.
I'm sorry to like ramble real quick, but like he is weirdly like really inspirational. For being an awful person, there's something about him. There's something about I kind of believe he can do it. Like I really
in my video, I talk about the Loki saying he had salvation line. I can't remember the exact context, but I bring up what you're talking about, and I'm like, I want to join the crew. Like I'm ready.
There's
You know,
something
like
about him,
I'll go
you
make
know?
Rock's king of the world shit. Like I'm ready. Like what? That was the coolest speech I've ever heard.
Yeah, and it's like it's a lesser of two. Well, no, this is definitely maybe not, I don't know. They're both awful. But it's another evil, right? But the way he said, "There's no authority in the world that lasts forever." Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
It-
yeah.
in the TCB they said there's no such thing as power that lasts forever, and I thought that was a little bit better. But yeah, that the line
I agree.
regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, TCB did a really good job this chapter. I know there's like some debatable stuff because it said worshiper of Davy Jones, right, in the official.
Yeah, let me go
Yeah.
back and see.
Yeah, it said Davy Jonesian pirate in the TCB.
So that makes him seem like Davy Jonesian is like a comparison, like a Herculean feat of some kind, like the comparison to a myth, you know?
The implication is that he's like a believer, like he's devoted to him,
Yeah.
like he's following in his footsteps. Is kind of the way I think of it. You know, like he inherited that will maybe, but maybe like in a more explicit way where he's like, oh, I like how that guy does things. I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah.
But also, I wanted to bring up this theory to you guys. Have you heard the theory that Rox has the quake fruit?
Yes, I actually
I
the,
have
the
not.
end
I
the end
have
of the
not.
chapter. The
Oh.
last line
Yes.
was
Yes.
the last
The Gates
line
of Justice.
was 4 years later, after Harold ignored repeated invitations, Rox finally carried out his plan. The formidable lineup that joined him caused the world to quake with terror. Like they literally used the word quake.
Mm.
I'm
And
like,
the TCB said he would send shock waves throughout the world, and so shout out Tiny Angry Gnome in the Discord who's been pushing this whole time. But once the Viz said that, I asked a couple people, Kuso Land and Dexter, who know Japanese pretty well, and they said, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as like the kind of earthquakes you're talking with Whitebeard.
it makes
So-
like this.
Oh,
this
that's
keeps
interesting.
Adding
Yeah, it is
to
the same.
Whitebeard gas.
Actually, okay, so I'm gonna say this real quick.
Hmm.
So, as of right now, I'm gonna be on the boat believing that Whitebeard has the quake fruit when we see him in this flashback, and I believe Whitebeard had it during God Valley. But if Rox, and y'all are saying like Rox had the quake fruit, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
You're a girl.
I still like that idea because that's so interesting to me because it's like, okay, then if you believe Rox has it, then that means Whitebeard got it from him during God Valley, this big incident, and then now the son of Rox comes and takes it from Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Yes,
that is
sir.
so
Yes,
interesting.
Dude, all
Yep,
this Whitebeard stuff is so intriguing because it's like, just from the reveal, right, that Blackbeard is Rox's son, he might not have known it. We could just assume he did. You know, we could just assume he did. They look too identical for him not to notice something. You get what I mean? But
Yeah.
him taking Rox's fruits, that, you know, I'm not gonna say it's rightfully Blackbeard's because that's stupid. But him taking Rox's fruit and then kind of being like a way for Blackbeard to regain his father's legacy in a weird way by killing someone really important and making a name for himself in one day, just like Rox did. It's like, this is really weirdly, you know, really poetic, you know?
Yeah, and you also got to think like Whitebeard probably really admired Rox if he got the fruit. Like, is it just that it was strong, or is it that it's like it's his captain's fruit? You know what I mean? And he like he's the one who got it. So I think Oda's gonna build like an important connection. You know, like the way he thought about Rox, or maybe it's more of a thing where he knows that someone could destroy the world with it, and he's like, well, I'm gonna take it because I don't want someone to end the world with this thing. Like there's going to be a little story there with why he took it of all people, and I need to know that. And I think part of it's going to be that he like respected Rox, even if he didn't, you know, like him or whatever, like, or he wouldn't have done things the same way. I do think there's like a certain respect they all have for him. Like when he dies, there's going to be a sect of the Rox pirates that cry and are sad about it. There's some that probably won't care. Some might probably betray him, but some definitely are going to like him, I think.
I agree.
Probably the OGs.
Like Shiki probably doesn't care, or unless he's putting up a front.
Well,
unless he's putting up a front,
that
you know? That's
the
definitely
fact he said it, man, that makes him suspect number one to not actually feel that way.
Quick side note. I just want to ask y'all this because this was really on my mind after reading this chapter. So we obviously don't know where he's from because if you look at the wiki, it just says he's from the New World. But is it possible that Shiki's from Wano, given that we know he's been there or at least met Orochi's grandma?
Yeah, and his clothes look Wano-esque in
Right?
the Loki arrival thing.
Yeah, so I say that to say that, like, I'm wondering if Rox himself went to Wano. Obviously, this was long before Kaido took it over.
You know, that would make it so interesting because we can imagine, right, that Blackbeard would like to go after Pluton, right? We could just imagine that. That's a very Blackbeard thing to do, just pure destruction, devastation, Pluton, the underworld, all that, right?
Right.
If Rox was there, right, and he was on Pluton, and he had such a close connection with Kaido, right? And this is obviously before he even went to Wano, right? Because Kaido wasn't at Wano. He was still a kid. It had so many, like, interesting layers of possibility, you know what I mean?
And hey, Sung Jin Woo just cooked in the chat. You remember in chapter 0 when Shiki goes to Marineford, and like he's just destroys everyone. Like it takes Garp and Sengoku to beat him. He's like upset about Roger getting captured. Like and so if he feels that way about Roger, he's gonna feel that way about Rox.
He felt Roger was more deserving of dying by his hands than just some execution in the weakest sea. Yeah,
he was like emotionally, like feeling that. So I think when Rox dies, it's gonna be. He might say the same thing, but he's gonna be emotional in some way.
Do you think? All right, this is gonna sound weirdly kind of like meta, right? Because Shiki, to us is very important, right? He's a very important lore character. In the grand scheme of the story, this dude is not important. This dude barely shows up. He barely makes an emotional impact. But like to the world of the story, he is insanely connected with all these big important characters. Do you think this is kind of like a weird way of showcasing like I want to do this so I matter somewhat to the amount of Roger, of Whitebeard, of Rox? You know what I mean? Because Shiki, we saw it in that picture. He did look kind of Buggy-esque. He looked like he was kind of like a joke on the crew.
Yeah.
He was laughing. He was looking all funny. And Buggy was in an insanely similar boat. He was the joke. He was literally villain 1. You know what I mean? But now look at him. I don't know. I think that could be an interesting direction to take his character if Oda decides to do that. But we could see.
Shiki is interesting in that he kind of started as not being canon, and Oda's like slowly rolled him in, kind of. And I think that's just even that makes him feel like a step behind Roger and Rox, and so like it might fit into his whole story of like not being good enough, being like one tier below. He's like Eden's. What's a good basketball reference here? Like somewhat, you know what I mean? Like
it's. I would say it's like if Roger and like, all right, so like it's like if Roger and Rox, if they're like Kobe Bryant here, right? Then Shiki is like
MJ.
Tracy McGrady.
There you go, T-Mac. Like people who never got to win a ring. Those things.
He's like the Rudy Gobert. He's good, but do we care? No.
Don't diss my boy Shiki like that.
All right. Well, you got what I'm saying, though. You got what I'm saying. It's like it makes sense.
He's like the Embiid. How about that? He's like Joel
now you're
Embiid.
slandering Embiid. Now you're slandering Embiid like that.
No, I'm not. No.
That's pretty
he never makes it far in the playoffs, but he's elite though. Right.
Okay,
That's why.
Okay, sure.
No, that's it.
No. That's a pretty good comparison. He's considered top 10, but it's like, yo, we don't have faith in you when it matters most. unlike these other guys.
100%.
Oh my god, I see.
It's not disrespect, not like genuinely. Okay.
I see. We got a message in the chat. Michael Evans says, "I think if Rox had a prominent fruit, I feel like someone would have said something by now. Like especially in Marineford, Sengoku would have been like, oh no, they have Rox's fruit." Now, I will say, obviously, I think we could all agree. I don't think Oda thought of Rox at Marineford. I just
not at all.
Think he did, but that's a fair point. That's a fair point. You know, if any of the moments we've seen of this guy, you know, throughout the past, what, 5 years we've known of him? 5 years.
Mm.
He's obviously meant to be a man of mystery. You know, this is someone that's connected
Mhm.
to Roger as Roger's main rival. He's meant to be the guy before Roger. You know, it's it's a lot
Dude,
to think about.
I,
You know,
Go ahead, Edens.
I'm sorry. I'll be quick. I was just saying. I was telling you this deck the other day. I was like, it makes me just wonder so much more about like, I need to see how Roger and Garp took this guy down.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to see
And,
it.
and I wonder if the island got erased now from Rox's Quake Fruit. If he
Mm.
really does have it, I think that might be kind of cool.
Ooh.
Wait, what
But
island do you mean?
What's that?
What island? Do you mean God Valley?
Or God Valley? Sorry, yeah, God Valley. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure what you're saying.
yeah. But about like the how Sengoku should have said something or whatever at Marineford. The thing with that is, for one thing, like nobody really knew Rox because he got erased from history. Like, remember how Sengoku was telling everyone in chapter 956, I think, that like he was telling the Marines like it was like a lesson they had never heard of, and they were freaking out. Like, they didn't know that all these people were on crews together, or who Rox was, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so whenever it comes to Marineford, I think there's two reasons mainly why Sengoku or Garp or nobody's just going to go say, oh, that's Rox fruit. For one, they've known this for probably 30 plus years. So it's like common knowledge to them. Like it's not like Whitebeard's coming up and using that fruit and it's the first time they've ever seen it. Like, they've known that it's Rox's fruit. And second, they might not want everyone to know. So it's like, what's the purpose of even saying it if that's like, you know, information they're trying to keep under wraps. So I don't think that's because that is an issue with a lot of people's fruit ideas, that somebody should have said something. But if we assume he got it back at God Valley, I actually don't think that's going to be a problem for that fruit, which makes it work. And also, Tiny Angry Gnome also said that the way Rox has his hand in the bounty poster is like how Blackbeard and Whitebeard like grab the air to create an earthquake.
That's a Master Chef.
Okay,
that's a Master Chef. So
I like that,
because for me, obviously, that's the buggy poster. But that's another great way of interpreting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I really like that. I really like that.
How many? Oh yeah.
You
No, I was just gonna say, Kev, we talked about it, but Dak, how many people do you think might have possibly known about the connection to Blackbeard and Rox? Because me and Kev were talking about a while back, and so far the only thing that seems confirmed of who knew, or at least found out around Marineford and like made the connection, was the Gorosei and Emu. Since back on Egghead, Saturn mentions Blackbeard's bloodline, kind of implying he knows more about him.
Yeah, and well, it's funny. Is that about Rox, or is that about whatever gave him the weird body, or is that about the not sleeping thing? Yeah, like, because I think Rox is kind of likely, but it could also be, you know, something to throw us off, because like we don't know what the Marshall part is yet, right? So
I'm personally leaning towards, I really like I've been gassing up Whitebeard, saying this is making him significant. I'm not gonna say significantly. That's gonna sound like I don't think Whitebeard's interesting, but it is adding a lot of cool layers to the character of Whitebeard. You know what I mean? I think it's interesting as well if we're taking it on like face value. Like, okay, Whitebeard knew Blackbeard was Rox's kid. It almost adds parallels to Blackbeard and Ace that go even further. You know what I mean? And I think it would be really cool if Marshall is just like Blackbeard's mom. But here's what I'm kind of thinking. I think, you know how obviously after Roger was rumored to have children, the government was like looking on the hunt for like any kids that could be Roger.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's very, very possible that Blackbeard's mom was killed. Very possible. Because they think, okay, this is Rox's kid. We got to get rid of him. You know what I mean? I think that would be a really cool way to do that. And it would be a cool Ace parallel, because his mom obviously was able to hold it in and like love him, you know what I mean, and keep him safe from harm. But Blackbeard probably wasn't safe, because the mom probably didn't care about Rox or anything like that. Like, there was no loving relationship like Roger and Rouge, you know what I mean? So I think that'd be a really cool way to show like they're so similar. Like they were both taken care of by Blackbeard, not Blackbeard, Whitebeard. They're both, they're both their fathers knew Whitebeard, very personally. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it adds a lot of interesting like foils to their relationship as well as obviously Whitebeard's connection with them, respectively. You know.
Yeah, and it makes me think, if Whitebeard knew that Blackbeard was Rox's son and that Ace was Roger's son, then it kind of puts the Shanks visit in a new context because Whitebeard didn't want to interfere, right? He didn't want to go after Blackbeard, nor did he want to stop Ace from doing it. And it makes me wonder if he knew that, like, like their inherited wills or whatever were just like destined to fight. And he's like, there's no point in me trying to stop this. And that's why he didn't do it, right? Like he actually had like the inner workings of the whole thing. He also knows what the D means because Roger told him, and those are two D members. So I don't know if that's something to it as well.
Yeah, that's very. I mean, obviously, and when they clashed, it was like a big circle, like sliced in half, And obviously, a lot of people think now, like the half moon thing, is that what the D is?
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Dressrosa, the half moon glaive, Dressrosa, obviously,
Yeah,
huge Will of D stuff there. So there's a lot to think about.
Yeah, are you thinking that there's two D clans?
I'm leaning
like,
towards that. Yeah, I'm
yeah, and
towards that.
One could be Davy Jones, and then one would be like a Joy Boy thing.
Okay. So you think because Davy Jones obviously
Maybe.
is now being interpreted as like the evil Joy Boy kind of thing, with it being like a mythological sort of mythic person from the past,
Kind of. But like I'm sort of 50-50 because it would make sense for like maybe Joy Boy to be one side or Nika maybe is one side and then Davy Jones is the other. So like those are like the two D clans or whatever. But I think it could also make sense that Davy just is Joy Boy because we're hearing the propagandized version of the Davy Jones story that depicts him as bad, but that's how pirates are talked about in general. And so like maybe Davy Jones was a good guy, and whenever, and so Rox is just buying into like the story that everyone's saying of Davy Jones, where he's like, oh, I want to be like that. I want all the money for myself too. But then but maybe people who actually know are like, no, Davy was actually trying to save the world or whatever, right?
That's really interesting because all this Elbaf stuff with the sun god could almost be the foreshadowing to what you're saying right now, like how they interpret the sun god in different ways, like oh he's a destroyer, oh he's a savior, blah blah blah. I really like that. That's cool, and that let's compare it to the real world, right? Let's be a bit heady. Right? Obviously, a lot of things in the real world, they have their like schisms, right? They start as the same thing and then they interpret it completely differently and it ends up as something completely different. But they could both call themselves that same thing because it originated as that same thing, Like religions do this all the time. And if we do the Will of D as something like that's meant to be like obviously incredibly substantial to this world's history and culture, I could easily see it being like, oh, they interpreted like that, but like Rox and Blackbeard, obviously, they're going to interpret it the Davy Jones way, the negative way, while Luffy's going to interpret it like the Joy Boy way. I think that's
exactly
really cool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Sung Jin Woo just said Loki would fit there with Davy. Like, I mean, Loki, like what I just said is exactly what Loki's gone through, right?
He sees the possibilities, but it's seen as a negative thing. Like, oh no, we're gonna take over. We're gonna ruin everything. Well, Loki doesn't know they're gonna ruin everything, but
yeah.
By the way, Kev, saw there was somebody in the dog pound. I wasn't sure if they were waiting to come in.
Oh, got you. We can move to the dog pound. As I mentioned earlier, there's a thing on the top of the chat. It's a link to join the Discord. Everyone can feel free to hop in to the dog pound. We will obviously be chatting it up. So let's all move there real quick. Boom. We're so back.
Yo. All right. Well, real quick, we haven't talked about Eustace Kid yet. That was the agenda that I originally was going to start with.
I was wondering when somebody was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I've been waiting. So obviously they can't be father and son because Kid is 23. So like, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, look, Porcus de Rouge is great, but there's no one's holding Kid for 15 years. You know what I mean?
True.
So So grandfather or is a potential option. Maybe kid or Rox had another kid that then had kid later, right? Something like that. But I think the most likely thing is just that Rox is like kids Roger, right? Like
Okay.
he heard stories of him, and like he dresses like him. He kind of acts like him. Like
He
he's just
does.
super savage. Like Rox, like I say, he might have cut someone's head off, bro. Like, he shot the other dude's ship. Like he does not care. So like he's also very crass. I don't know. There's a lot of kid vibes, and so that's what I think happened. Is he heard some stories of like this guy was almost king of the world, and he challenged the greatest powers. Blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
don't like, and but the people who'd be saying this, like, how would they know? Maybe it's where Rox is from, or there's just somebody, an old Rox pirate, just motivated kid. I don't know.
I think that would be really cool, and it would go further to showcase the legacy of Rocks. Like it's a silent legacy. It's like so. I recently watched. Now I'm not fully tapped in, and I do not support the current ongoings. But when I was in LA, there was a TV channel that showed Harry Potter. It was like some 24/7 Harry Potter marathon thing, right? And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I have no idea what this is. This is something that I'm like, you know what? It's on. I would rather watch this than the History Channel. You know what I mean? It's like it's on.
Hmm.
Um, but it seemed like there was like again like a bit of a because I'm bringing this up as well because a lot of people think Rox's scar is meant to be like a bit of an allusion to Harry Potter because of the lightning stuff, and it could
Interesting.
be. It could be. I don't fully know, but it could be.
Yeah. Or
But
Doctor Stone because his name is Rox.
true, true, and they
You
got all
know.
the cool scars in that show too.
Yeah.
Um, but it seemed as though like obviously there was like the four schools or whatever, like the schools within the school. Um, and one of them
Hmm.
is like the evil one, the Slytherin. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
at the end, Harry is like talking to his son, right? And he's like, "Oh, what if I become a Slytherin?" And he's like, "Some of the best people I knew were Slytherins," you know. But there's still that negative undertone, so it's like a positive
Right.
thing and a negative thing. So it's like the legacy is overall bad, but there's still good people that can come from a bad legacy. And maybe Kid's an example of that because we know he's aligned with Luffy. He's actually done things to help people versus Kaido and Big Mom who have direct ties to rocks. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
the rule of six thing, like yeah, they had a 1-to-1
Interesting.
for rocks. But Kid, we have no idea what his connection is. But from what you sent, like there's definitely something to look at there. It's not like nothing. It's not like some
Right.
random like I will be honest, if the scar wasn't there, it would be random. But the scar being there adds so much insane potential. It's like there could easily be something there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, in that panel where like they're all eating together and Rox is in the front with his arms out, that just looks like Kid. You know what I'm like? That
Yeah.
is, it's
Yeah.
remarkable how much like if I didn't know what Rox looked like before you showed me that, I might just glance past it and think it's Kid with like a
Yeah.
bunch of random people. Like genuine, like the hair is the only thing that really substantially looks different, and the arm, I guess, but
No, I do agree. The fit is very kid coded. Like this looks nothing like Blackbeard, except his
right,
face, obviously. But you get what I
exactly.
mean. The aesthetic is so different. Like this looks like something a kid would wear, and I definitely agree
We
with you.
don't we don't know anything about the island kids from, right?
We
I
got
don't
like a
think
little
so.
bit of stuff in an SBS about like him and Killer were there and they had the same love interest, and then she died from
Hmm.
like some bandits
Spaghetti,
or something like that.
spaghetti girl,
Okay.
Victoria
Okay.
something, Victoria something.
Yeah,
I
Victoria.
forget. Um,
Yeah. Also, speaking of Killer, have you heard the theory that Shiki is Killer's dad?
I
Shiki
have,
is. I've
I
heard that.
have
Yeah, I've
heard
heard
that
that.
theory. That would be another
Uh,
cool rocks connection as
It
well.
would. And we earlier, Kev, you brought up the Wano idea with Shiki. Well, if Shiki's from there, then you got to think about Killer being like Kamazo the Manslayer there. Like it was the closest we ever saw to like his full reveal.
Hmm.
It just makes me wonder if that was Oda kind of, because he was like in Wano attire and everything. Was it like Oda trying to tell us like, like that's what he would have been like if he just lived there normally, like he wouldn't be masked up
Hmm.
and whatever. I don't know, some kind of little messaging to time there.
That's
But
very
I
cool.
think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot because Killer, obviously Killer in Wano became like a really great character. You know what I mean? And having that
Hmm.
be the crux of his past would also be really cool.
Yeah.
Shiki, we know Shiki's a bum. He's a, like a bum, like a jerk pirate, like a bad example of one. He's not like Whitebeard or whatever. So he definitely slept around. He definitely, did
Yep.
pirate things. And him just having a kid and having a kid and Killer, you know what I mean? That just makes perfect sense to me. I feel like that would easily
Yeah.
happen.
Yep. And wait, and speaking of, well, I guess we can talk about the caribou thing again in a second because I have a couple ideas. But did you guys talk about the pirate guru / pirate prophet thing for Ochoku?
So
No.
I heard someone, um, I think it was someone mentioned something about the prophet thing. I don't really
Hmm.
know fully what that alludes to. To be blunt, I don't fully
So,
know because
so
fortune telling, kind of stuff. I was confused
that's
on that.
that was the first thing I thought, but I asked some people that translate,
Mhm.
and they said that it's basically like he founded a religion or founded a cult or something is kind of the idea.
Oh, that
Like
fits
he's the
perfectly.
leader.
It fits
Yeah, he's like the
perfectly.
leader of a belief, system group, like something, like it doesn't have to be a religion, but like there's some group that he, is like a leader of
Maybe that's Pirate
that's kind of
Island.
like that.
Maybe that's what Pirate Island
Maybe.
is like. You know what
Well,
I mean?
well, here's the thing I was thinking because kind of the prophet thing too. Someone I thought about was Hawkins because that's another
Mhm.
like supernova that we might want to try to find a connection to. And because Hawkins has those tarot cards,
Yep.
which are like not really explained, and they are kind of they see the future. Like he was the 1% man or whatever it was.
Hmm.
Um, and also it's like those could be like religious in a way. Like we don't know what that is, right? It could be like some dark magic stuff that is like a cult religion thing that it's based on, and maybe Hawkins belonged to that. Because if you go look at Wang Ji's outfit in like the panel where they're all eating, he has like the little frills in the front of his shirt, and Hawkins had the same
He
kind of
has that
frills. So I
too. He
don't,
has that same kind of fit. A lot of his crew members
yeah,
are
yeah. So
employees.
maybe they're all from the same island,
That'd be really cool. He also has obviously very long flowing hair like Hawkins as well.
right?
Um, but I like that. So the reason I like what you said too about the cult leadery kind of vibes is because when we first ever see Caribou, one of the first things he does is like praying. It's one of the first things he ever does. He's like, "Oh, please, please don't let me get attacked by these Marines. It wasn't me." Like, and obviously you could view that as
Interesting.
like a classic like villain, like, "Oh no, I just got caught." But like, it wasn't like a joke. It was like he was actually praying. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Hmm.
that could easily lead to that if you're saying it's like more of a religious thing than like a foresight or, you know, spiritual kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
I need to learn more about him. I'm not super happy with the design, I'll be honest with you, for how
Hmm.
important he is, but it's whatever, man. It's you know what, Oda, do your thing.
At
I'm not
first,
gonna stop
he
you.
he
I
reminded
can't.
me of that one vice admiral from Egghead. You know, the one
I
with
I, I know. That's why I'm a little
Oh,
disappointed, man.
with all the
the
chins.
chins guy. Yeah, the chin guy.
Cincinnati Red King.
But the second I saw the tongue, I'm like, oh, and the hair thing. I'm like, oh, this is Caribou's dad. This is Caribou's dad. This is crazy. And it makes it. One Piece is crazy, man. Why do we care
It
about
is.
Caribou so much?
Well,
Why do
what
we
about
care?
Gonzui, bro?
Okay, so I thought he was Silver Axe, and I was like, okay, so Silver Axe I guess means Gonzui, because I don't think we've ever heard Gonzui before, right? Unless
We
No,
it's
this is
never
the
like,
first
have.
time.
He's just a new name. We haven't met Silver X then.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I
yeah, we
thought
haven't met him.
this is definitely that one super swole zombie, right? This has to
Yeah,
Yes.
be.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He
I
was at
thought
God Valley as well. He
I
was
thought he
bottom left,
was
but above the
Silver
top or
Axe.
above the bottom.
I thought he was Silver Axe, but I guess Silver Axe
Me,
just
me
that
too.
normal guy. I can't wait to see
Wait,
Captain John alive. I
Yeah,
can't
the guy
wait.
with
I'm
the actual
actually
axe.
so excited.
yeah. If you go to Thriller Bark, there is like a zombie in like a silver armor with an axe. But
Yeah.
I mean, it could be him. But I mean, if I'm Oda, like the Rocks pirates are so dope. I don't know if he's actually just gonna have a dude in a set of
He
armor
just
like
looks
that.
like
Maybe I'm wrong.
fire, bro. He just looks like fire.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. He looks like an NPC. So
Everybody wanted the cooler guy with the sword to be Silver Axe.
Yeah. Well, because we also only knew, we already knew of like 10 different Rocks pirate names. And if you go look at that panel with all the people from God Valley, you could compare like the names and match up the same number of names. So like you could kind of reason, okay, he has to be Silver Axe then. But now Oda's like, no. There's just more Rocks pirates. There's just more, than most crews have.
What chapter was the God Valley double page spread? Which one was that?
1096.
Oh, 1096. Okay.
But
something. Right.
But do you have any idea for who like the Gonzui could be the father of?
I don't know at the moment. Like, cause he kind of like. Hold on, let me just.
It's just like there's nobody in terms of design wise who we could think of that he would. I saw some people saying Apu.
I could kind of see that, but to me, I'm thinking like a Rouge, man. I don't know. It's the nose. The nose is a very Rouge.
Okay,
nose,
Rouge.
Right?
Okay.
Rouge is connected to Blackbeard because he said,
and he is big and bulky. You're cooking.
He's huge.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's huge.
You're cooking.
Yeah,
no, you're cooking. You're absolutely cooking.
Because
I like that more than Apu.
I like that way more than Apu.
Yeah, like because
Apu doesn't need to be relevant.
Like, let me look at a Rouge and him side by side. Hold on.
No, dude, you're cooking. I'm looking at all the pictures right now on Google. You're in the kitchen with the burners on.
Does he have facial hair? No, he doesn't have like a mustache. He just has the beard. Okay, but Dak, when's the next Reverie, bro?
Don't ask me.
When is this happening, bro?
Don't ask me. I'm not one of the Gorse. Don't ask me, bro.
Okay, dude. Okay. Bro's almost got the 100K plaque, and he's downplaying himself, man.
Hey, if I can't get some videos done, I ain't ever reaching it. I've been so behind, but now I got so many cooking. Now I got the kid video. I didn't even get through all my kid thoughts. Or you don't even want me to. I would be here all day because there's so much to say about that situation.
Okay, so the kid situation.
You're cooking with your Rouge, man.
Thank you.
The more pictures I look at.
So I'm looking at the crew again. We still got to meet that Fishman guy. We still haven't met him. So we have the Fishman guy,
Jinbei
Big Kaido, Gloriosa, Captain John, Gil Bastar. We got to meet him. And then that guy in front of the guy in front of Gil Bastar with the sword. And then there's someone behind Prometheus. We don't know who that is. And that guy with the Wolverine claws.
Yeah, we saw the Wolverine claws guy in Thriller Bark too.
I think.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure. Like he's like to the left of Gonzui.
I think you might be right.
Okay.
I know we saw the was it the or is Gil Bastard the pistol guy? Is that him? I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
On the very left. That's
yeah.
him now. It's insane that we just know these randos. Like these are actual pure randos. That's awesome. I love One Piece.
It's so good, especially right now.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. I'm looking into the Thriller Bark panel right now. It's 389, right? That's
I think that's right.
Yeah, 389. Let's just go there just to see.
Man, it's so many agendas.
Definitely not. This is Zenny's lobby. Maybe.
389. No. Yeah, you gotta go into like the 400s.
Yeah, maybe it was 4. No, there's no way. No, okay. Someone linked the chapter. Someone literally put it in the chat earlier. Does anyone remember off top where Silver Axe? Well, it was
because
Gonzui.
It's in the 400s, right? Because 434 was like when Shanks was talking to Whitebeard. So it's in the 400s, like late 400s.
So you're looking for the zombie generals?
Yeah. Where it's Gonzui,
450.
450.
Okay, yeah.
450 and a little bit on 451. I have the panels from a video I did a couple years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking now. There's Gonzui, Captain John. This guy with this crazy sword. Oh my god, that's Gil Bastard. Wow.
Yep.
One Piece is insane, bro. One Piece is insane.
Yeah, man, we haven't seen Captain John yet.
can't wait. I can't wait. Dak, when I was in LA, I saw Captain John. No joke. We go to the One Piece cosplay thing, right? First person I see, Captain John. First person I see.
Wow.
And I'm like, gotta get a pic with Captain John. You know what I mean? I gotta get a pic
Right.
with Captain John.
Hell yeah. That's dope.
We were in
I
such
mean,
a bubble just 2 weeks ago. We didn't know what rocks
what
looked like.
what's the story with Buggy and Captain John's treasure now?
I was
Like,
I was just thinking
something
about
like
that.
now too. You know, what is Captain John's treasure gets revealed post God Valley, or is it gonna be found at God Valley?
Is Captain John
I was
actually
thinking
Buggy's
that.
dad?
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Well, that would kill the Rocks Buggy Dad though, and that would be tragic. But it would be.
But I mean, still got the vibes though.
Yeah.
Like,
obviously we don't know, right? But like, if we can assume that Captain John was one of the people to survive God Valley and he just died later on, right? We don't really know, obviously, but maybe like he got away with like some wealth post God Valley. You know, that's the Captain John's treasure thing, and you know, Buggy eventually finds out.
Do we think the Flying Dutchman, like the real Flying Dutchman, is going to be relevant as well now? Like, not like
I hope so.
Flying Dutchman. Like, do we think Rox is going to meet the Flying Dutchman, or Harold is going to meet the Flying Dutchman? You get what I mean? Because this is like some ancient stuff we're talking about right now. Maybe Emu has connections to the Flying Dutchman. There's something ludicrous. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Something.
Fishman Island's the whole Joy Boy setup. How deep is the well going?
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, you just said at Fishman Island how important that was. I wouldn't be surprised if Oda had like did a callback to when that ship was like in its prime.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the double page spread, so that we can pick out a lot of these. I mean, that's Captain John, obviously. Gil Bastar is somewhere here. We don't see him, but he's somewhere. The Wolverine Claws guy, we can assume that guy in the back is the Fishman, just wearing armor. That's obviously Gonzui. This is wild. This is wild.
Top tier chapter.
What a wild time. Will the Fire in the chat is putting up a bunch of crazy pictures right now. What in the... These first two are insane. What are these first two?
Yo.
Hey, amen, bro. For context, Kevin's streaming if you don't know.
Okay.
First two chapter pictures. Hold on. Dak, do you recognize these first two? With this like man above the water? It's in the side shot here.
From a flashback, I think.
If you look, those are close-ups, the black and white. The colored ones are the bigger picture. It's Vanderdecken being cursed. The man in the clouds is supposed to be the god who cursed him, which I think could possibly be Davy Jones. And the second picture is when they're talking to Papag, and he says that legends are a bit different than the actuality, and it shows Vanderdecken at the first going into Fishman Island.
Okay, that's very interesting. And that's kind of goes into what you were saying, Dak, about Davy Jones possibly being Joy Boy, but interpreted differently. You know what I mean? The legends are different than what's said.
Like, I feel like it's really a 50-50. I kind of want to do a video on it, because you also look at like Ace's hat with the smiley and frowny, and like you could look at that both ways. Like, is that just that there's two different D clans, especially with like you mentioned it earlier, that clash with Blackbeard, where like the sun and the darkness, you know, hit each other, and it made two Ds because it's like a sphere, like, you know, it was like a sphere split in half or whatever, and or is it what we're talking about, and it's just that there's two ways to look at the same person, and it's all about how you interpret it and what, you know, like what you do with it.
Yeah. This is wild, bro. I don't know how I feel about the little Flying Dutchman thing, but I like that you brought it like around full circle, because I want it to be a thing, kind of. Because Davy Jones' locker, we're at the bottom of the sea, it would make perfect sense too. I'm just thinking about it.
I do think one thing with it is very interesting is devil fruits and other curses. The individuals are cursed to never go into the sea, whereas Vanderdecken and Zunisha are cursed to wander the sea and never return to land. So it's almost an inverse of it.
Okay. I like that a lot as well. Dak, I got a question.
What's up?
I told Edens this before, right? So, Rox obviously is dead, right? Unless Oda's just a monster, right? And somehow Rox is still alive, which I don't know how I feel about that. But you know what? He easily could be, knowing One Piece. How do you think he died? Because I'm leaning more towards he sunk to the bottom of the ocean, especially now with this Davy Jones thing. I think it actually adds fuel to that fire. You know, he went to Davy Jones's locker, you know, maybe poetically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what do you have thought?
I like that because I've always thought that Blackbeard would have to be somebody who drowns because he has all the devil fruits. And you know what I mean? So like it would be we've never seen a devil fruit user drown somehow, so it's like we maybe should see that at some point. And Blackbeard would be the perfect person.
Yeah.
And so if Rox also did it, that'd be a cool parallel. I do think what Oda would have to do before that though is still have like a really dope fight. Like he would still have to get defeated, but then he just dies that way, right? Because I feel like, you know, if he gets thrown in or shambled in or something, you know, it's gonna feel cheap. So no matter what, Oda's gonna have like a climactic defeat for him with like I don't know if it's gonna be Emu, if it's just Rox and Garp, or sorry, Roger and Garp, or what the situation is. But yeah, drowning is, as far as the death, makes sense.
I like the idea of Rox going out in a similar way that Luffy took down Kaido, where Luffy kind of punches Kaido into what we assume is like an ocean of lava, whereas like Rox went to the actual sea. That's the kind of death that Kaido always wanted to avoid, where it's like you're erased from history. You know, Kaido wanted that death where he's like remembered forever. And so I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be a parallel to that, how like Kaido went down.
I love that.
Yeah.
That would make so much sense because, you know, with Vegapunk's speech, we know like, oh, the world got washed away, all that stuff. And I mentioned earlier a bit, I don't know if you were in the call at this point, Dak, but I mentioned, I think Davy Jones might be from the first world, and maybe that has some connection to like the past, and maybe because we know we know Blackbeard loves history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rox is probably pretty similar in that regard. I think we
imagine
that pretty easily. So I think this could be a cool way to connect the first world stuff, because Davy Jones was obviously alluded to with the Davy Back fight, but now it's being reincorporated conveniently around the same time this first world is being reintroduced, and after Vegapunk's talking about how the sea has risen like multiple times. I think it's definitely possible if that could connect to the past, and you know.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I'm thinking at the moment, personally.
Am I the only one who just kind of, with how crazy these last two chapters have been, the Shamrock stuff feels like it happened so long ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Even the Emu stuff, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I literally thought Emu might have had a face reveal this chapter, and I was like, "Are we just doing this now?" Because I'm like, "What's happening?" But you know,
no, dude,
that wasn't Emu. But you got it.
Well, do you guys think we're getting God Valley flashback, like the full thing, like next?
I'm not there yet. I
hope we don't.
I'm thinking it's gonna be like I'm thinking it's gonna be like the Kuma flashback or the Kaido flashback, where we're either getting like one certain part of it, either that, or we're gonna just hear the aftermath. Because this is still technically the Herald flashback and Loki flashback, so we're probably just gonna hear like how they react to hearing the news that the Rocks pirates went down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we do get the flashback, it probably will have to be during the final war or like before it, like right before it, because that is going to be the thing that we use to parallel the end game fight with Luffy and Blackbeard. You know, that's clearly going to be, we set up all this, and then that allows us to see how is the present versions of these characters going to react. Are they going to react differently? Yeah. Are they going to be very similar? You know, it would be intriguing, you know.
I'm thinking if I had to assume when we would actually see like the thing that we're really all wanting to see with God Valley being like the Garp, Rocks, and Roger stuff. I'm gonna assume that we're gonna get it through Garp himself whenever we visit Garp back on Hachinosu. Now that we know everything we do about the connection to Blackbeard and Rocks, since Garp was actually there, so we'll be getting his perspective on like how all that went down.
That'd be cool. I would be a big fan of that because Garp, you know, a lot of people think he's got the death flags, you know, and he's Garp, so it could happen. But having that first person point of view, you know, Sengoku obviously was not with Roger against Rocks. Sengoku was not there. He was there, we can imagine, but he wasn't there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So saving it for Garp, you know, because Rogers and Rocks, they're gone. He's the last of this trio, you know? Him being the one to tell us would be really cool because it would showcase, you know, still the Marine point of view. How did they react to all this? We're not seeing any of that at the moment. So that would be another cool way to spin the story, give it a new angle. And actually, like, really try and paint Rocks as the bad guy. Because they already view Rocks as the bad guy. But this would, in turn, because Rocks is viewed as so much of the bad guy, Roger's then going to be looking like the good guy, you know, in their point of view, which I think will be cool.
Another
Speaking
thing, too,
that,
is that...
you first. No, you first. No, you started first.
Okay, I'll be quick. I haven't meant to say this for a while, but I'm so glad that that story Sengoku told about the Rocks pirates and Rocks himself is so far like very accurate and not propaganda. I'm so happy about that. No, he's just an evil dude.
Yeah, that's Sengoku, man. He's a real one. You know, if we heard it from someone else, if we heard it from the Gorosei, then you know that's questionable, right? But what I was gonna say was, speaking of like, kind of like the good and evil just difference, I guess. At the end, you know how Loki, it said like he suddenly found salvation, or I forget what the officials said, but he like found purpose in life, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very end.
Like when he's like all like he's happy hearing what Rox is saying.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is how Oda is gonna make Luffy become the one that kind of takes Rox's place in Loki's mind, if that makes sense, right? Because if Luffy is going to join the crew or even become an ally, like whatever it is, it feels like we're on a collision course for Loki becoming to like respect Luffy, accept him as the sun god, join his side, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like for that to happen, it's like Luffy's going to have to climb the mountain that is Rox in Loki's mind. Oh, Cliff, come here.
Yeah.
He does one bark and then comes running over here like the people outside are going to come after him. But yeah, so I want to see how Oda's going to do that, because that's a really important point, I think. And it's a tough mountain to climb given everything else Rox does throughout his life, right? Because Luffy and Loki even like bonded over like, you know, being born in the wrong era or like being too young to join someone that they were like fans of. And so I think, you know, like it could be the emu thing. Like if Luffy beats him, it's like, well, Rox couldn't even do that. Or maybe it's just Gear 5. But the thing that I really want Oda to do here is make it all about how Luffy reacts to Loki's eyes. Like if he's like, oh, dude, they're awesome. And Loki just starts crying because he's like, dude, wait, what? Like, because maybe Rox made fun of him. And so maybe it becomes a thing where he's like, so he's just as strong as Rox, has just as big of dreams, but is actually a good guy. Like, whoa, you know, like I've
that
never.
Would fit.
Like that's what I want. Yeah, I hope
that would fit as how Luffy is. Because you know he did that with Brook, a talking skeleton. Everybody's freaking out and screaming, and Luffy's instantly like, "Hey, join my crew. You're weird." And or you know when he just saw Kinemon's legs, and he's like, "Yeah, I need that on my crew."
Yep, 100%. Katakuri also with the mouth.
I think it would be a great way, because obviously Loki was first ever alluded to in Whole Cake Island, and a major emotional beat of Whole Cake Island was Pudding's eye and Sanji reacting to it. So I really enjoy that. You know, not callback, but, you know, that kind of like intriguing, like parallel, you know what I mean? I also really like it because you mentioned climbing up the mountain, you know what I mean? And it's that childhood aspiration thing. And we've seen that as well. with Kaido. You know, how high will your ceiling go? And he's comparing Luffy to people who are like actual legends and like worthy people in his point of view. So I really like that idea a lot. I'm trying to think. There was another point I had, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. If I come back to it, I'll let you know.
Just
too
many
things
to think.
I can say something until you remember, Kev.
Okay, yeah.
I was gonna like piggybacking off of what Dak said that I'm in full agreement with you, Dak. I'm on the boat where it's like, all right, what's gonna be the thing that makes Loki kind of start changing his mindset? Because we see like Loki is very much like he has like all of these like very stubborn beliefs about, oh, all humans are weak. I'm a giant. I'm too good to follow anyone that's like this much, this like small compared to me. Elbath, we're like all warriors of war. This peace stuff that my dad is doing, nah, that's not how we should be doing things. Oh, Rox is the guy to follow. Look at this maniac, how he wants to take over the world. And then, you know, Luffy is meant to kind of be like the inverse of all that. So I'm with you on like, what is it? Because I feel like too many people, at least from my perspective, too many people have immediately jumped on the whole, oh, Loki is going to join Blackbeard. I don't believe that. I just don't.
Same. That's a good additional point. Is like, what's Luffy going to do to separate himself to where Loki realizes that? Because also they have San Juan Wolf. Like, let's come on, man. We don't need them to have both massive beings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I remembered now. So obviously Rox's aspiration is to be king of the world, and Luffy doesn't want to be king of anything. I think that's going to be one of the things that really hits. He's just as strong as him, and he just wants to help people. He doesn't want people to be like under him. He wants to uplift people. And I think that'll definitely be something that stands out in Loki's mind. And we already know that Luffy's also annoyed by Elbaf being this way, which is really cool because it's from like Loki's childish perspective, and Luffy, you know, he's obviously a pretty childish individual. So I don't know. I thought that would be a little cool things.
Yep.
Another thing I wanted to add too on top of all this was that you know, I think we all agree, right, that like Luffy is clearly meant to surpass not only Roger but people who Roger surpassed. That includes Rox in different things that they do. And what's one of the main core things we saw in this flashback was Rox was going out of his way multiple times to get Harold to join him, and Harold kept refusing. And so I think in a way Luffy is supposed to do something different and in a way surpass Rox by now, whether that's Loki actually joining the crew officially or just being an ally, either way, he's going to like join Luffy in some fashion. So that's another reason why I'm kind of on the boat that like, he's going to do something different and get the actual like prince or king of the giant, however you want to view it, on his side. Something that Rox failed to do, which probably was a big part that led to his downfall at God Valley. Because who knows? We saw how strong Harold was in this flashback. If Rox had Harold at God Valley, maybe things turn out differently. Just based off the information we have.
I definitely love that because, you know, obviously we're gonna talk about Whole Cake Island a lot and like Wano a lot during this flashback sequence because they're so connected to Rox, you know, now with hindsight. Think about what Big Mom was saying. Oh, if I had the giants, I would have already been the king. I would have already been the king. And because Rox didn't have the giants, he lost. That's how they view it. It's like they are so integral that if he just had them, not even them, if he had one person, if just
he just wanted like
joined,
the guy,
the
strongest guy.
If just he joined, it would have been over. It would have been he would have won. He would have been the king of the world. And it's like, if they have this mentality so rooted into them from just this one, you know, loss of their leader, they definitely took that into thinking when they wanted to try and be the king. You know, like, we need the giants. That's why she wanted to do the gigantification. You know, obviously she's saying she wants to do it for the table stuff, which I do agree with, right? That's still probably a genuine reason she wanted to do it, right? So there's like equality and all that. That's a nice, wholesome reason. But I think in reality, it's also probably because Rox lost because he didn't have a giant, you know? There's probably something more to it than just that. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment.
Yeah, he didn't have Harold, but he had Harold's son,
Yeah.
Kaido.
Yeah, it's true. We got, dude, when Kaido
He
shows
did have
up,
Kaido at the very end. Like that's the same timeline when Kaido joins at the end of the chapter.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait. I can't wait to see that.
Do you think Loki's gonna like hate Kaido? Be like, oh, he's just like me but small. Like, I
Do they?
It would be really fun.
I don't know. I mean, I can't wait to see that. I got one other thought for you guys before I go because I need to go work on a couple videos.
Gotcha.
So you know how like it was said that Rox didn't have his flag until like the end, like he didn't like establish the crew officially, you know, with like a flag until towards the end, like after many Davy back fights. Does that mean he was kind of like cheating the entire time? Because if he doesn't have a flag that you can take, then if he loses, you can't end the crew. You know what I mean?
True.
Like if he because then if he loses one member, it's like, well, all right, everyone else, let's go, because like we weren't a crew. You can't disband us. So I'm like, that's just hacks. Because like because really, if you're Rox, you can make the other crew disband and then be like, all right, I want all of like these certain number of people or something, you know, because like he's too strong for you to really give up. I don't know, but like the fact he does have a flag, I mean, he probably never lost a Davy back fight. I feel like. Unless, wait. I just thought of this. Was God Valley a Davy back fight?
That would be awesome. Because remember what the Celestial Dragons were saying? It's a game. That would be a really cool way to spin it. I like that a lot.
That would be like so. That's why Roger and Garp had to team up. Okay, is it had to be a Davy back fight?
Wait, you know what that immediately made me think of? Because you brought it up earlier. The Groggy ring. Imagine if Roger and Garp were like Zoro and Sanji in the Groggy ring.
Yes.
Dude.
Oh, love that parallel. Love that.
So good because they're the rivals who have to work together.
Hey, if Oda does that, I'm speechless. I'm genuinely speechless. That would not be real. I don't know if I could actually take that happening in the story. Because I'll say this much though. Going back to the buggy of it all, that does this not telegraph a cross guild Straw Hat Davy back fight happening?
Yeah, shouts to Randy Troy. Shouts to Randy Troy. Yep. Absolute legend. Absolute great video as well. I agree. And the thing is though, so you're leaning more towards Buggy doing it like 100% and not Blackbeard because Blackbeard's different. This is like his differ from Rock's kind of angle. You're saying?
Well, like Blackbeard's strong enough just to beat people. Like you know what I mean? Like Buggy isn't strong, so and also he's way behind on road poneglyph rubbings, right? So for those two reasons, this is the quickest catch-up method for him because there's no way Buggy's crew is going to go around and they don't even know where the poneglyphs are. I don't know if they're strong enough to even take out any of the remaining people that have them. You know what I mean? That they could take rubbings from. I mean, they're like, I don't know. So I feel like a Davy back fight saying, you know, like we want to take your road poneglyph rubbings if we win. And I mean, the Straw Hats would just agree because they agreed to Foxy. They're not. I mean, whatever. Yeah. You know, they'll do it just because.
Game, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's something he would do.
Yeah, they're just hooping. They don't care about anything else.
We want it to be something epic. Watch it be something like, oh, Shanks pulls up on Buggy and just gives him some copies.
Dude, I mean, if that's the only other way that there's even a chance where Shanks is like, you know what, Buggy, I like you. Here, catch up. Like, all you need is one more.
Wait, that would be kind of fire, though. Like, I know we're saying it's like cheap, but like after everything we've been hearing,
no, I would like it. I would like it. I know some people would hate it.
Well, no, because they said they'd go to Laugh Tale together, right?
Together, yeah, they have to go together, and it's like. Shanks, that's showing that Shanks believes in Buggy. It's not even like no, here it's the pity award. You know what I mean? He's like, we should go together, and like, you get what I mean? Like it's like a recognition thing.
I would like it. He acknowledges that how far he's made it. He's like, hey, fair game.
And maybe they like he does it, but he's like, we'll race for the last one, so like they can see who gets there first, but they'll still just go together or something. I mean, that is kind of cool, but I feel like the Davy back fight thing is just like and here's the other thing, Kev. Well, here's the other thing: Zoro versus Mihawk. It has to happen.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Like you got the crew's got to face off for that to happen, right? And you got the combat
Yeah.
round. So then Zoro has to beat the world's strongest swordsman to like keep the Straw Hats alive. Like you know what I mean? The crew would be over if he loses. So it adds so many stakes other than just the fight itself.
Yeah, and it makes it feel as though, like, because obviously everyone mostly thinks of, oh, we're gonna take a crew member, but the disbandment of the crew itself, like, you can never be the Straw Hats again. That feels so much more serious, you know.
That's worse than getting taken for most of them. I feel like.
Oh, absolutely, because
then Luffy can't complete his dream.
Exactly. Like, imagine Buggy riding away on the Sunny. Imagine that would be so cursed. I love it.
Yeah, and if that happens, I think just another thing that makes it too perfect is if Mihawk was in the combat round, then that means Buggy would have to be in an earlier round. So he would probably be in the Groggy Ring round because his head can just get separated, and so he'll be the ball and he'll just fly his head around. So it'll be really hard to catch him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's like built for it. But I mean, Brook can remove his head too, but he can't like control it like that. So I don't know.
Maybe he could use the souls to move the head, though. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he can like make the ball like animate with awakening or something.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Robin was there though, and it could be like fake clones with the ball in the head. That could be fun.
I feel like she's got to do the first round because she did the first round the first time.
That's true. It'll be
because they lost.
Yeah, the race. Yeah.
It was Nami, Usopp, and her, and now obviously the crew expanded, so I think it's going to be the same three, but they're going to add Frankie and Jinbei because it's the shipwright and the helmsman, and then we're going to win that one as like a cool sign of like, all right, now that we have these crewmates, we can win a race or whatever. But then they'll lose and also that means that we'll take somebody for a little bit, and I feel like we're going to take Crocodile.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that we're gonna lose and they're gonna take a Straw Hat. I'm like, it's Chopper.
No, because the first round's the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we would take Crocodile probably just for, I don't know.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean it would be strategy, which would be don't let him play in the second round. But I think it would also just like make him mad. Like, and I feel like Croc is like such a serious person, he wouldn't want to play a stupid game. So if he gets picked, then he doesn't have to play, and that seems like his thing because he just, I don't know. I mean, he gave up on his dream, to be Pirate King. He's like he pouts about it, but then I think that would probably work.
I can't wait for during the Davy back fight to get Mihawk and Crocodile's backstories. I can't wait for that because that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just One Piece is crazy. One Piece is so crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
It is. But all right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to go work on a video and get some food, and then go to bed, and then wake up and work on the videos again. But that's how it is right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the grind, bro. You be easy. Good talking to you again.
Yep. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Peace, chat.
All right. Shouts to Dak. I will end it in about 5-ish minutes because my room is turning into a boiling mess. But obviously, much appreciated to all you guys for sitting here and rambling, as well as chatting, because wow, this is an awesome chapter. Chat, what would you rank this chapter? I assume we would all give it a 10, because that was a lot, you know what I mean? But in the best way. My personal hope for what's to come, I don't think we're going to see any more Emu for this flashback. I think kind of no Emu for the rest. But if we do, that'd be cool. The I'll be back right here. Getting a full thing on that would be really cool. What do you guys think?
About Emu making an appearance in the flashback?
Yeah, I think we're emu'd out personally. Unless we see God Valley, Emu somehow there. I think Emu might be out for the rest of the flashback.
Okay. The
Yeah.
last thing we get of Emu is we're gonna see, like, obviously we still have to find out what went down in the castle when Loki got framed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you think Emu? We're gonna see Emu through like a possession thing, and not through like.
Yeah,
physical-
exactly.
Okay, I agree with you there
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, see.
I think we're not gonna see Emu until like when we get his reveal. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think that's when we really not really see him, but I feel like this is gonna be the last appearance of Emu for a while. He's next.
So I get what you're saying, but I'm kind of leaning towards because we can assume. Do we think when Blackbeard meets Emu, we're gonna get the face reveal? Do we think that's it, or is it gonna be when Luffy meets Emu? We'll get the.
Oh man, that's
because they're both gonna be crazy moments
man.
in the story. You know what I mean?
No, man. At first, like if you told me like 3 weeks ago, I think I would have no hesitated said Luffy. But now after these like last 2 chapters, like assuming they don't both see Emu at the same time, if like all 3 aren't in the same spot, assuming if like it has to be separate, I ain't gonna lie, right now I'm feeling Blackbeard.
I agree because Blackbeard wants to meet Emu. Blackbeard specifically is trying to, well, not meet Emu, but Blackbeard probably knows, right? Should we just assume Blackbeard probably knows that Emu? You know what I'm saying?
I'll pop in here to pose this.
Okay.
What if?
Big Metro?
What if they're introduced to both? Well, like both Blackbeard and Luffy are introduced to Emu at the same time.
I would love that.
And that's when we get the face reveal.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. The only reason I would see if it did happen separate, it being to Metro, you might want to mute.
Yeah,
there's like some noise in the background.
I got you.
It's all good.
I was just saying that if it does, because I like the idea of it happening at the same time. But if we were to assume it happened separate, the reason why I say Blackbeard first is because say Luffy meets Emu, and we got about 20-ish, 25 chapters left of the story. I feel like because there's so much Oda can milk out of us finding out about Emu a bit sooner rather than like near the end. Like say that theory is true about Emu having control over Lily or like Lily's body. Think about all the conversations that were going about that. So versus like you only have the very end.
I like that. Now for me, I don't think Emu's going to be revealed to Luffy that late. Personally, I think Luffy's going to have a bit more because at this point, there's no way it's not Blackbeard versus Luffy as the final. I'm going to be so serious at this point.
I agree.
Blackbeard is the final villain.
I agree. Don't take the 20 chapters literally. I was just kind of like making like a
gap. You know what I mean? Like
a gap to where there's like not much time left.
Yeah. After Rock saying "I'll be back right here," I was like, "Oh no! Like this is happening. Like Emu is not the final villain," which I love. I love that I'm thinking that.
Yeah. Like because I think for the last arc and a half, 2 arcs, I think a lot of people were leaning more towards it being Emu because the world government and stuff. But now after this, it's like, oh no, like it could go either way. It's like a 50-50.
Yeah, I'm thinking personally, like, Blackbeard wants to be in the world government. Blackbeard's going to scheme his way in there. He's going to do a bunch of, manipulative stuff. With Saturn, with his connections with Shanks, he's going to use all of it to his potential. With the rocks, obviously. He'll use as much as he can to get as high up as he can and then take out Emu, Maybe... Because Rox knows Emu. I don't know why I even said maybe. Rox knows Emu exists. Maybe that was one of the main things.
We can say that.
Yeah, it's insane. Rox was just chilling in that flower room. That's crazy. That is insane to think about.
Bro, that is insane.
But maybe that's one of the few things Blackbeard knew from his dad. Like, oh, Emu exists. There is someone on top. And maybe Blackbeard knew, like, someone's up there, I have to be ready to get to that point, Could be
God Valley was 38 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. And Blackbeard was alive at this point. So Rocks
Yeah,
could've
yeah,
easily left
yeah, yeah.
something
That's
before.
that's why I think it's so crazy, because I don't think we talked about it, but I'm really now wondering. You know how we always talk about the Void Century?
Yeah.
I'm really wondering what happened with Rocks in between those 4 years from being at Elbath to God Valley, because we know after 2 of those years, Blackbeard is born. So it's like, how much, like you said, how much does he know about Rocks? With how much does he know about Rocks? Right before, like, we're assuming God Valley is coming up.
I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of potential there. Because it's like, this dude's the mystery man besides Emu. But at this point, like, some of the stuff he's saying, I'm like, yo, if Blackbeard's this guy's son, there's something about him. Like, well, there always was something about Blackbeard. But there's levels.
In fact, we're getting all this information. I just thought about this, all this information about specifically Blackbeard and Shanks, like their family relations. I didn't think about how that's happening simultaneously in the same arc. Like, we started off with Shanks, now it's all about Blackbeard currently. Yeah. You know, the two characters who we expecting to clash at some point.
Probably very soon. Probably within 100 chapters they will have clashed. Within 100 chapters.
Yeah, definitely. Or at least I feel that way, like where we're at now.
Will Shanks die? Possibly. You know, let me instigate real quick. Possibly. But let's not set in stone.
Right. But it's you know, something else too is one of the big things that solidifies that idea is the existence of Loki. He's kind of like you said, Rocks was his Shanks in a way, and Rocks is connected to Blackbeard, but we're making this parallel to Shanks. I'm even wondering, like, how much do they know about each other at this point?
Rocks and Blackbeard and Shanks.
Yeah, Blackbeard and Shanks. Yeah. Like, I'm wondering now, like, how much they know about each other.
There's so much you could delve into with them, because they're both like the children of, like, the guys. You know what I mean? But Shanks, this is the one thing that's interesting. Shanks was with Roger for a long period of time, but we have no implication that Blackbeard was with Rocks. There's like zero implication.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's with Whitebeard, which is interesting. A little thought. You know what I mean? I see. Oh, you can go.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say we know that now that these 4 years, Blackbeard is now born. He's at least like a 1.5, 2-year-old, and Whitebeard is already with Rocks years prior to that. So it's like maybe Blackbeard had already like met Whitebeard as a baby, and Whitebeard didn't remember him, or, you know, time will tell with that. But it just makes me think about that stuff, since we know who has been with Rocks by the time this is all going down.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's so interesting because it adds a bunch of, like, I've kept bringing it up, like, it adds layers. You know, it keeps adding layers to these characters we've already known so well. Well, some of them we haven't. Like Blackbeard and Shanks, they're obviously very mysterious characters. But, like, Whitebeard is getting so much more like
Lord Tom.
Yeah, it's just like there's something about him. You know, there's all these interesting little, like, but if you look at it this way, it could be this or this, you know? Good writing. Good writing.
I agree.
So Winston, oh my god, sorry. Winston in the chat says, Emu says Luffy is the son of the head of the revolutionaries, inherited from Roger and Joy Boy's will, and Blackbeard is the son of the pirate who had to wipe existence, inherited from, so they wiped out Rocks and he inherited that will that was, like, so hidden that it's like, all right, we had to get rid of this guy as fast as possible. But Luffy's like he's got Dragon, he's got Roger, and Joy Boy. Now, Joy Boy was kind of written out of history, you know, obviously, but it still has those little things, right? But let's say in, like, Joy Boy's, like, hundreds of years old, obviously. Rocks is less than 100 years old, but is more covered up, seemingly, than Joy Boy, which is kind of insane to think about, like, in the grand scheme of things. Only having, like, those people who are even associated with him don't really want to talk about it because they'd rather make a name for themselves versus his name. You know, it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing.
I would say going off that, I would say like, and because like I'm wondering about what you just said, I would say like in Joy Boy's case, maybe it was pretty well covered up, you know, in terms of like the only way you would start finding out about this guy's like through the poneglyphs, and we know Emu had made that I think it was Egghead when Emu said this day Lily had made this really
blunder,
her blunder, and that blunder is what caused the poneglyphs to, at least that's the interpretation I got, unless I'm misremembering. But that's what caused the poneglyphs to be spread across the world.
Yeah, they probably already
and so
had
like
it all under wraps, but then Lily was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas Rox, it was probably like there was nothing outside of like the other Yonko pirates connecting anything to Rox to talk about this guy, and these other pirates, you know, they went on to be big names of themselves. They kind of just took over in the modern day, and people knew them, whereas like Rox wasn't talked about. Only like the really old people, grandparents and type of people were around to remember that, like the like back in their day stuff. And I do feel like a big part of that is because truth be told, I think the main reason why they went so far as to cover him up is the fact that Rox saw Emu face to face.
I definitely agree.
And they're like, there's no chance where this guy can be allowed to live. They kill people for less. They've shut people up for less. And you know, we saw with Cobra. As soon as Cobra saw Emu, they said, "Yeah, your fate was decided the moment you saw him."
They were trying to kill Sabo as fast as possible.
Yeah. Sabo too. Yeah, Sabo too. And and then I just remember one of them told Cobra specifically that, once you laid your eyes on Emu, that was it for you. Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's clearly being implied to Rox as well, who's also strong and a threat.
Was alive for like years after seeing him. Years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That makes me kind of even think, like, do any of the Rox crew know that Emu is? Like, do they know? But like, he might have just not told them. He might have just been like, oh, well, I'm going to be the king of the world, right? But if they know there's a king, they might not believe in me. Or maybe he said that so they couldn't believe in him, you know?
You know something crazy I just thought about? What if that's why, because we know the world government is corrupted, but what if that's like kind of why they do stuff as crazy as doing like backdoor deals with Kaido and Yonko, like
because they know.
Yeah, or at least the idea of they might know because we know who they were with. So it's like let's try to like have some kind of connection going until we can find a way to really get rid of them.
That's awesome. But see, that's the thing though, because you know, I think we've definitely talked about this before. The only reason the government keeps the Yonko in power, from my perspective, is because it puts an eye on them as villainous figures that the world can hate. And the world government looks
100%
because they're around. But that angle too, it's like they're enabling them to do it because they don't want to risk them telling the world. They don't want to risk them blabbing about Rox,
exactly. You know? And the thing is, it could even be both things. Like that's how, like with the information we have, that's how crazy this is.
Yeah.
Cause and you know once you know, Rox, we can assume he already wanted to. He wanted to take over the world, tell that straight up to Emu. And, you know, we got Kaido, who was very inspired by Rox. That was kind of his plan too, about we're going to start a war and I guess like destroy the world or something like that. Or destroy the world as is. And, you know, he started doing what Rox did. Let's make Wano a pirate paradise.
I want Kaido to meet Blackbeard so bad.
Right?
So bad, man. Like, there's so many little things now. I'm like, where's Blackbeard was on Big Mom's island. Well, not he wasn't, but his crew was. Like, how would she wasn't there, obviously. But you know how everyone says, like, do you remember that fan thing? It was like Katakuri versus Blackbeard's crew. Right? That was a huge thing, like, years ago. What if
I remember that.
Katakuri goes there, and then he's like maybe Big Mom doesn't talk about Rox, but it's Katakuri. This is her top guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she does talk about things. You know, maybe. I don't know. I think there's so much just little things. It's like when you see
Yeah.
him, when you just
Yeah.
seeing rocks is like, this is like fan fiction. I was talking with Mel and T, and I was telling them like, oh, this is like fan fiction. You know what I mean? And at first they didn't get it. I'm like, I can't believe this is real. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is real. This is a real thing I'm looking at, which is a good thing. It's good to have those fan fiction moments.
Yeah,
You know what I
the
mean?
fan fiction chapters, yeah, they'd be
Like
great.
seeing Blackbeard versus Boa Hancock, and Kobe is there, and Rayleigh is there, and it's like, what is going on? What is actually happening right now? All this rock stuff is amazing, but the little things we think about after, it's like, oh, I wonder what that blank would think about that. Oh, I wonder how blah would blah when they interact with blah, you know? It's just these little things we start thinking about, and it just slowly becomes more rich and more detailed, you know? All the stuff with Whitebeard is a perfect example. Yeah, the wanted poster being like Buggy. Like, that's insane. That's actually insane that's just the thing they dropped.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I thought in the previous chapter, I felt like some people in the Buggy fandom were a bit reaching with the side-by-side picture. Like, I saw what they were seeing. I just wasn't ready to be like, there isn't anything there. But after the bounty poster, I'm like, oh, just trolling right now. So
he's trolling. Yeah.
So
and now it's like, is Buggy gonna do the game or is Blackbeard gonna do the game? And at this rate, so you sent me a picture, I think, a few days ago, and because I was like, Buggy could still be a son. Buggy could still be a son. It's Blackbeard, but it'd still be Buggy. And then you sent me this Buggy thing from Wano. You know, you sent me the thing where Buggy's talking with Odin, and he's like, why am I the second son? It's like, what?
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, little things like that are like, I can't.
And it's funny. It's funny he says that because he knows he's old. He's like a year older than Shanks.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, Rox was introduced in Wano, so it's not like an impossibility for Buggy to. No. Rox wasn't even just introduced in Wano, because the Odin flashback was right after they introduced Rox as a character that existed. You know what I mean? He probably thought, okay, Rox is going to be introduced. Let's start planting seeds with Buggy. You know, and obviously now I'm going a bit insane. But you get what I mean. Like, it's the possibility is there, and the bounty poster just proves it even further.
Will of Fire. He said or both the three-way game.
Ooh,
like as a question.
Triple threat. Buggy, Blackbeard, and Luffy. It would be a super cartoonish, crazy time. And Shanks is just like, well, they're messing around. I'm gonna go get the One Piece. You know, something like that. A little sneaky sneak. That would be something he could possibly do. Could be something like that, you know. One Piece is crazy. One Piece is crazy, bro.
I think what also makes this like I'm sorry, hear me?
Yeah.
I was saying I think what also just kind of like makes this so special, like going back and like, revisiting early arcs is like Orange Town, and I'm just like, dude, maybe so interested in Buggy as a character at the start was like it was always tied to, okay, what do you know about Shanks? Because you know Shanks is probably like the most interesting guy after Luffy by that point, at least that early on, and then it's like, okay, they haven't seen each other for a long time. This guy Buggy knows Shanks. We know that they were on a crew together as like teenagers at the very least. And it's just like crazy seeing like how connected these three characters are for really when you add Blackbeard into the mix.
They all have great dynamics with each other. Well, maybe not Blackbeard and Buggy, but like they know they have that connection with Roger and Rox. We know they have that, like, well, not Rox, Whitebeard with Roger and Whitebeard.
What's crazy is, what's crazy is, I could be wrong, but like, weren't they in the same room when Blackbeard came to Impel Down? When Blackbeard and Luffy met again?
I can check. Hold on.
Like, I know they don't have no dialogue towards each other. It's just Luffy and Blackbeard talking to each other, but I couldn't remember if the Buggy was like somewhere else in Impel Down at the time.
544. I'm gonna check right now. 544. And like think about it, in Marineford, they were like 4 of the main pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for Buggy right now.
And you know what happens, Kev? It's something I've noticed is like usually something tied to the 4 of them, but 3 are always more important, or like 3 always get more focus on than like all 4 at the same time. At least from what I've kind of looked at it as, like you said, Marineford. Shanks is already him because he comes there and stops the war, but like he doesn't get really more famous off of that. The ones who get all this hype is Luffy, Buggy, and Blackbeard because they go on to be known for playing big roles in this event.
Okay, Buggy was not with them.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was freeing the prisoners on the other floors.
Okay.
Dude. It's... And look at this. In a few short hours, we're going to put on a show that will shake the world. That's literally so similar to, like, cause the world to quake with terror. Like, shake the world, quake with terror. Like, it's so, like, little. You know what I mean? But it's, like, it's the way they phrase it. It's like he knows. He knows what he's doing. Dude writes good. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm just looking.
Dude, that made me wonder because here's what I was thinking right earlier when we were talking about the Quake Fruit stuff with Dak.
Yeah,
I was just wondering that say Rox does have it or he knows the fruit is there. Like we know it was Kaido's and the Pawpaw fruit that were at God Valley, but I'm just wondering like, okay, was the Gura somehow there as well? Did Rox already have it? And Blackbeard took it from him, which makes the Blackbeard taking the thing from Whitebeard stronger. I don't know. It just makes me wonder.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. You know what I just realized? Have we ever seen Blackbeard without a hat on his head?
Does only the do-rag count from Jaya?
That's covering his head, right? Have we ever seen him?
Okay.
Because when he was a kid, he had a hat on.
No. Any other time we see him, he either has just the do-rag or a hat.
Now I'm thinking like.
And Oda's never drawn a kid version of him, like outside the story, like he did for the Admirals
with the hat. Yeah, with the hat.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Like yeah. Besides that one with the hat.
Yeah, he probably has hair just like Rox's hair, like the striped hair.
Oh, dude, if he has like the little patches at the top, that would be crazy.
He has to. Like, because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't think we've ever seen him without the hat. Like,
I don't think we have. The only other time I can think of is when he's talking to Ace about being promoted as the second division commander.
No, but
I think he had the do-rag on at that time.
Yeah.
I keep saying do-rag. I mean bandana.
No, it's all good. That he has to. Like, that would be so sick. Oh man, that's cool. I'm hoping like some fan artist or whatever does that. That'd be so fun. I would love that. If Blackbeard has similar hair to Rox and it's covering it and he takes it off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to take it off and it'll look so like, maybe that will be something that cues the world. Maybe. Like, because obviously the final war will be televised in some fashion, right? The world is going to know that this is happening. The final war or Laugh Tale or whatever. Blackbeard has to be revealed as like Rox's kid. And maybe they don't want people to know that, which they honestly probably don't. But maybe old people are going to watch this and be like, whoa, wait, you're that guy. You're like him. I remember him from back in my day, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the revolution will be televised. I completely agree.
It also would be interesting if the narrative behind it is this is the second coming of Rox. And remember when it was the the vice admirals all talking to Garp. The first name drop we get of Rox, and Rox says something. I mean, Garp says something like, "Yeah, if they got back together, like it's pretty much over for the world."
Yeah.
And so, like, just the narrative of the second coming of Rox would be enough to just like frighten the common folk in the
Definitely.
One Piece world.
Definitely. I'm seeing like Big Stinky, you know, he says, was Rox Diesebek Buggy's dad when Oda made Romance Dawn? No, but that would be very awesome. Incredible delicate retcon. No, he's great at those. I cannot think of a single retcon that like annoyed me in One Piece, at least off the top of my head. There have been some I'm like, okay, but at this point I'm too accustomed to like the fake out deaths and stuff like that. But yeah, usually he's very great at the improvisational aspect of writing. Winston says, yo, he takes his hat off in front of Garp and triggers the God Valley flashback. That would
be fire.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And think about it, because when Roger talked to Garp, Roger was in a prison cell getting ready to tell him to take care of his son. Blackbeard's talking to Garp. Garp's the prisoner now, and is telling him about his connection to his father. What a parallel moment that would be. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool.
That'd be fire.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it in that moment where it's like how the scenario was just described. Like imagine like it could be like the look that Garp would have, like just in shock of like whatever he gets this reveal of, and maybe that's when he just kind of puts two and two together about Blackbeard being the son.
Mm-hmm. Unless he knows already, which he easily could.
Yeah. Assuming he doesn't know already.
Oh my god. But yeah, I am going to end the stream now because I am insanely hungry, as well as boiling alive in this room. Thank you all so much for watching. That was a fantastic stream. Next week, I guess, is Buggy Bash 3 at this rate, because there's so much I want to talk about, but I'm a bit in a dilemma because I don't want to not talk about it like I really do, but, you know, it's a bit difficult because the flashback isn't over, and what if Buggy just shows up in the flashback? That's a possibility at this rate. We just see Buggy in the flashback. Not impossible, at least to me. That would be peak, personally. That would be so peak. But overall, phenomenal chapter, 10 out of 10 in my opinion, just like last week's. Rocks, I need to find as much fan art of this man on Twitter as possible. I need to just fully immerse myself in the coolness of this man and really, you know, really
I have one that you might like.
Yeah, just see some awesome fan art. As you know, as you've noticed over the past probably hour and a half, we've been chatting to Discord. I've mentioned this before on stream. I'm trying to revitalize this Discord too, like movie night kind of stuff, gaming stuff, whatever. So if this sounds intriguing to you, or rambling like an insane person like myself, sounds fun, especially with One Piece. The Rocks edit's about to go off. I agree. I agree. Those Rocks edits will go hard. I wish his laugh was the same as Blackbeard's, just so I could hear any dialogue of him. Anything. I wonder if Blackbeard's gonna just voice Rocks as well. I kind of don't want that, but I kind of do. You know what I mean? Just to really sell they're similar yet different. I don't know.
By the way, you can check your DMs on Twitter. Some interesting fan art you would like with the Rocks.
Okay, I'll check it in a bit. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to support the channel, memberships, chatting. Obviously, we had an incredibly active chat today, and I greatly appreciate of that. For Buggy Bash, we're gonna have a bunch of like viewer submitted questions and stuff, so feel free to chat all over there. We're gonna have a ton of creators on the stream. I'm trying to get people, you know, some newcomers to Buggy Bash 3. It'll be peak. So look forward to
When's
that.
the date again?
I guess it's next week because Buggy Rock's
okay.
agenda is now just like on an all-time high. which is kind of crazy with the Davey back fight and the poster, obviously. And who knows? It could be even better. So this is a critical mass buggy agenda thing. So with that, that will be it for me. Hope you guys all have a fantastic night now, because it's 10 p.m. Usually I'm doing this in the afternoon, but and I can't redirect you to anyone because I don't know what's happening. But yeah, take care. Have a good one. And shouts to Rocks. I mean, he was talking that talk.